people come from across, some people come from outside the country. It's a moment of reflection, togetherness, unity, memory, and everything. This is the OK Morning Rush, the best thing on radio. Julius J. would say at about this time. My name is Clarence Jackson, but just call me Piso. I'll tell you what we're going to do today. Coming up, we'll give voices to some of our sponsors, and then when we come back here, we talk about some of the issues. The war in the Middle East is beginning to affect a lot of things. The Iranian people have chosen a new leader. Of course, the second son of the supreme leader who was killed in the first day of the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. Mixed reactions in Tehran about his selection. But that's okay. Okay. President Joe Boakai ended another cabinet meeting, giving more mandate to his vice president to work with ministries and agencies to get things done. He was clear about the work of the Ministry of Commerce. For me, it was a wake-up call for Minister Madam Marilyn Dagoze. Rise up. I want to hear you working. If you were not, do more. Let's take a break. We'll come back here very shortly. No matter where you are, maybe you're driving to town or moving up, the birds in the morning, when the weather, the environment is cold, in the villages, the sound of the different birds and the interpretation from the elders. Regular exercises is good for the body. So yesterday we joined some friends to increase our love for exercise. Good morning to you, Senator Johnny Kwehe, Representative Small Moloba, and the rest of the folks. My friend Regina Doe, what's up? Let's take a break. We'll come back very shortly, man.
You want flex or you're banking? No stress, steady online.
Check out, mommy. Are we running LLA so?
Mommy, I let her. I'm going to join the bank line before the place get back.
Bank line? Hey, check out, you really wasting time in the player. You not hear about the Bloomberg digital app yet?
Bloomberg app? You sure that thing really working?
My man, what are you talking so? The thing working. On that app, you know what all you can do?
No.
You making phone, my man. So you just press small. You tap small. You can send money right away. You pay your bill. You check your balance. You can even borrow small money right on your telephone.
You mean all that thing can really happen inside the one phone?
Yeah, so it working everywhere in Liberia with HNC banking and even all around Africa. You can even use your own currency. And you know what they call currency? You can use it in your own Liberian dollar.
Then I'm inside for good. From today, call me Papa Bloomberg Ticketer.
My people, you all go to the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. We download the Bloomberg app so our life can be easy. My people, we ready to bloom. Oh.
You want flex or you're banking?
Bloomberg Africa, make it happen.
You want flex or you're banking?
Are you seeking financial empowerment, dreaming of building your future? Then your solution is Bokonjide Group of Companies. Bokonjide, your trusted partner in microfinance, construction, and general services. We provide microfinance for many institutions like House of Representatives, the Liberian Senate, National Port Authority, Governors Commission, LRA, Gender Ministry, Corporate Development Authority, GAC, and other lines ministry and agency, with a percentage range from 15% to 20%. At Bokongire, we understand your aspiration, your goals, and your dreams. That's why we offer tailored microfinance solutions designed to uplift individuals and communities alike. Whether you are an entrepreneur with a vision or a family aiming for a better tomorrow, our microfinance services pave the way to financial independence. But that's not all. Bokongire Group of Companies doesn't just stop at microfinance. Our expert construction team brings your architecture dreams to life. From residential to commercial projects, we craft spaces that inspire, innovate, and endure. And when it comes to general services, Bokongire is your one-stop destination. From facility management to logistics, we ensure seamless operation every step of the way. With our apartment rental and furnished apartment for long and short-term stay, you will enjoy the luxury of comfort. Join the thousands who have entrusted their dreams to Bokongire. Experience, unmatched professionalism, dedication, and integrity. With Bokongire Group of Companies, your success is not just a goal, it's our mission. Visit our Capitol Building office or find us in the Royal Garden Plaza on Crown Hill Broad Street, or call today 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603 or 0886-622-599 or email Bokongire Group of Companies at gmail.com. Bokongire Group of Companies, microfinance, construction, general services, your partner in progress. New Day, do something.
We are brave. We are passionate.
Hey, Tanu, I need cash and there is no ATM around here.
Really? Did you try the EcoBank POS?
POS? I said I need cash. What is it about POS?
Judy, you can get your cash through the POS. All you need to do is to visit any EcoBank Express Point or petrol trade gas station and request to use the POS. Guess what? It can also take other bank cards.
Oh, widow. You mean cards from banks overseas too?
Yes, it should just be your Visa card.
Wow, great. So when there is no ATM around me, I will just use the POS to get my money fast. EcoBank has made it too easy, man. EcoBank, an innovation that will 5 and 6 so.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
I say, my people, First National Savings and Loans Liberia not do it again. Oh, I say, my people, y'all listen. First National Savings and Loan Liberia not do it again. Oh,
but when I compu, why you shouting all around the place like you not found bank manager well so?
Namo, even if I found bank manager well, I would be very happy.
Like how now?
Because all the things that the First National Savings and Loans Liberia doing, it will really take away our stress. Oh.
In what way it will take away your stress?
Look, Namo, if you're looking for a good place to save your money you suffer for, or you want your money to receive good interest over a period of time, then go to the First National Savings and Loans Liberia. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, you can open savings account, current account, church savings, Susu savings, and mobile banking. You will get account SMS alerts right away, meaning as soon as you save the money, you will get a message in your phone right away that you not save the money.
So Goku, the way you not do all the fancy then so what you do now if I want to open my own account?
Nambo, when it comes to opening a saving account for church, school, and organization, you can call them and they can open the account for you right to your own house, school, church, or organization. If you want to pay your children's school fees, you can also do it when you call them too. Try to join them to make things easy for yourself.
I really missing good to you.
Also, First National Savings and Loans Liberia can offer you different ways to do what the poor people call fixed deposit, or to keep your money starting from 13% per annual, meaning per year, for Liberian dollars deposit, and 10.25% per annual, meaning also so per year for United States dollar deposit for what the poor people call fixed deposit. First National Savings and Loans Liberia. We are located on 10th Street Sinker. Better still, you can call us on 0779 206 231 or 0886 027 466, and we will come to you. First National Savings and Loan Liberia is a microfinance deposit taking institution. At First National Savings and Loans Liberia, we put you and your business first.
Sandra, where are you going?
To the next water and sewer office to pay my bills.
But you live not too far from Pinsville City Hall.
Yes, but water and sewer got no office in that area.
Oh, so you don't hear the news yet?
What news?
The Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation has a new cashier center at the Pinsville City Hall where all LWSC bills can be paid daily, Monday to Friday, from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m.
What? So you won't tell me I've been wasting time on this road waiting for back when I could just walk to the Pinsville City Hall to pay my water bills?
Enjoy improved, efficient, and convenient financial services at the new LWSC Cashier Center, recently opened at the Pinsville City Hall for our value customers, mainly people living in the vicinity. For more information, call 0777-464-171, 0886-616-767, 0886-617-200, or our orange call-free number, 5972.
Tired of waiting forever for a car? Need a ride that's fast, safe, and reliable? Say hello to NASA Ride, the smarter way to move around Monrovia. With NASA Ride, you are just one tap away from comfort. If it's work, school, or a night out with friends, go for NASA Ride. Our drivers are trusted, our fares are fair, and your safety comes first. NASA Ride makes my life easier. No stress, no hustle, just ride and relax. Car rental, pick and drop, airport transfer, luxury ride, 24/7 services, daily and hourly rental. NASA Ride, located 3rd Street in Cinco, adjacent Telecel, Liberia. Call 0773-882-264 or 0887-221-196. Download NASA Ride app on Google Play Store or Apple Store. Book in seconds and enjoy the ride you deserve. Remember, wherever you are going, NASA Ride takes you there. NASA Ride, your city, your ride. NASA Ride, fast, reliable, and safe.
Good news to all travelers in and out of Liberia. ST Transport Service has introduced new fleet of buses in Liberia to take travelers from Monrovia directly to Ghana, Abidjan, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. We also do connection for our passengers to Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, as well as Bamako, Dakar, and Banjul. We also travel from Monrovia to Plebo Harbour, Maryland County. For more information, you can visit our red light office opposite Zone 9 Depot 1 Police Station or call us on 0775-908830, 0886-888-538, 0777-775501, and 0555-558801. What are you waiting for? Come and enjoy our fast, reliable, and comfort service. ST is here to serve you.
I say, Esther, what in the American people mean by overstay that they say some of all that people doing?
Marie, they overstay the American people talking about that for you to stay long after the time you ask her to stay in America and the time the people already not take record for, even when your visa still get long time on it.
Oh, okay. So it me when I tell the American embassy that I'm going for 6 weeks. It should be 6 weeks. It shouldn't pass 6 weeks. Even if I get 1 year visa, sir.
Yes. Even if you get 1 year visa or 3 year visa and you going for 6 weeks, that is 6 weeks you must stay for and can't red bago. If you won't go again, they will believe you next time. But if you tell the people say 6 weeks, then you stay for 6 months, they will not trust you next time. Oh, don't let anybody in America fool you. Oh. Even if the immigration in the very America tell you say you must stay for 6 months, don't do it. Oh. Only stay for the time you told the embassy you're going for, so you can't spoil your friend and way to travel to America.
Okay, thank you for making me understand the whole overstay thing the American people talking about. From now on, I will stay for the time I requested for. As soon as the time pass, I come in right by here because I want my country need to be on any overstay list. When they will take my country and they traveling to America, half for my family and friends.
Don't stay beyond the time you requested from the U.S. Embassy. Return home after your requested length of stay. Get clean record. More travel chances. A message from the Special Presidential Task Force.
A message from the Special Presidential Task Force. Yes, when you go to visit or whatever into the U.S., plan not to stay because it's not going to affect you as an individual. It's going to, by extension, affect the population of the country. It's going to affect the country's profile, not about you, but about the country. From Guinea, we are hearing that the government has dissolved the other political parties. We will try to reach out to one of our colleagues in Conakry, but tomorrow we'll hear somebody talk from Conakry about the political situation in Guinea. Recently, the president of Guinea, His Excellency Weah, was out of the country, and there were mixed reactions. There were a lot of speculations that he was sick, he was dead, he was this. He's come back to the country. But there are still other political issues that we will attempt to find out from one of our colleagues in Guinea. We'll talk to him today and set it up for tomorrow so that he gave us a gist of what's going on as far as politics and political party activities is concerned in Guinea. Let's say good morning to Irene in Tali. Good morning, Prince Koma, Ojuku K. Bato, Flexible General. That's Ansu Koma. It's been a very long time. Ansu Emmanuel Ashari is following us. Jerry Plateau. Good morning to you. Emmanuel T. Dongbo Jr. And all of you who are watching us, we'd like to say good morning to all of you. A few things to talk about this morning. It's a single guest show beginning 8:30 to 10. We'll have the head of the government's Witness Protection Agency. It's a new agency of the government and it's headed by Attorney at Law Maxwell Grisby, Tiklo Maxwell Grisby, from the formerly of the Arms Commission. It used to be the Small Arms Commission. When Maxwell Grisby went over there, he worked with his team. Today, that institution is called the Arms Commission. The president appointed Maxwell Grisby, to head the Witness Protection Agency. What is it? What do they do? All these things we will find out from Maxwell this morning. He's coming on 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So last week, I think 2 days in a row, we reminded the president and the government, because listen, all of us, I'm a Liberian first before I'm a journalist. And so sometimes that is the reason why we do it the way we do it, for the good of the country. Sometimes it hurts people, sometimes it hates people, sometimes people celebrate the work we do, but that is the work we do. We accept the diversity in the opinions and what people think about us, the way we do the work we do, but it's okay. Like I've always said, we are surrounded by witnesses. History is recalling and posterity will judge all of us in the future. So the president has finally extended the mandate of the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force. I was concerned, we were concerned about that, and that Had the president not done that, it would have meant that it would mean that there would have been no existing asset recovery. However, Councillor Lafayette Group provided an opinion that even though it would have made, the asset recovery team would have been dissolved by reasoning, but private or other government prosecutors could still take on and prosecute the case. By the way, I'd like to say thanks to Mrs. Nesua Bien Livingstone for the maiden edition, the first edition of Nesua and the Cake. Nesua and the Kids, a 1-hour radio program. You can tune into the station every Saturday, 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and Mrs. Nesua Bien Livingstone will be here. The first edition, she talked about friendship. It was well articulated, and I know the coming edition, she may have some children on the radio to talk about some of the issues. President Joseph Boakai has issued Executive Order number 161 extending the mandate of the Asset Recovery Task Force for additional period of a calendar year. According to the Executive Order, the current mandate of the task force was due to expire on the 5th of March. However, due to circumstances that prevented the completion of its assigned responsibilities, the extension has been granted to allow the body to continue its work in identifying, tracing, investigating, and recovering assets belonging to the government and people of Liberia that may have been unlawfully converted to private use. The Asset Recovery Task Force will operate within the Office of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and will be composed of 4 members appointed by the President. The task force is chaired by Councillor Edwin Clark Martin, with Dr. Rennie Banama Jackson serving as Vice Chairman, and John Moluba Glee and Crosby Johnson serving as members. And so the President has issued Executive Order number 161 extending the mandate of the asset recovery. They will have the opportunity now to continue on some of the things they started, hoping that in a period of at least a year, we can see some convictions and some acquittals. If for the lack of better words, if they have no evidence, you can't keep people. Musa Belete has penned down few things as part of his regular letter from Sakle PA. You know, recently, I think the Liberian Senate, through its plenary, passed a mandate or agreed that all of the county administrations across the country be audited, which is a good thing. For me, these things should be held probably once or twice a year, even though very expensive, to ensure there's compliance in the way people use government money. Musa Belete had this to say. He says, "We commend the Liberian Senate for taking the important step of directing the General Auditing Commission to conduct a nationwide audit of the county administrations and county councils." Belete says, "This is commendable and necessary action towards strengthening accountability and transparency in the management of public resources. Ensuring that county administrations properly account for public funds is a vital part of building trust between the government and the Liberian people. In this regard, Belete believes the Senate deserves recognition for initiating what could become a significant step toward improving governance and financial discipline across our country. However, Dr. Mogana Flomosion always said, anytime you're reading something, by the time you come across however, then the view is going to change now." However, Belete said, "While we applaud this initiative, we believe this movement presents an even greater opportunity for leadership. True accountability must begin at home. If we are to demand transparency and responsibility from county officials and other public servants, the same standard should also apply to the national legislature itself. Leadership by example is the most powerful message any institution can send to the public. Therefore, we respectfully encourage the Senate to take this process one step further by subjecting its own financial and administrative operations to a similar audit by the General Auditing Commission. Such a move would demonstrate that accountability is not only something we claim or demand from others, but something we practice ourselves. It would send a historic signal to the Liberian people that transparency and integrity are principles that begin with the nation's highest public institutions. If the Senate were to take this bold step, it will mark a turning point in Liberia's governance culture and inspire confidence among citizens that their leaders are committed to genuine reform. Once again, we commend the Senate for this initiative and encourage them to deepen this effort by extending the same standard of accountability to their own institution. This will truly be a historic achievement for our democracy. Musa Hassan Belete. What Musa Belete is saying is that, look, it's a good thing for the Liberian Senate to call on the Liberia or the General Auditing Commission to audit all the county administrations. Very good. It's a good precedent. It's healthy for accountability, for governance, for our democracy. But Belete said, why don't the Senate start with itself? To audit others, you must have been audited. You must have agreed for the General Auditing Commission to move there. So Belete is saying why it is true for the Senate to use its oversight to call for audit of county structures and administrations. The Senate should set the standards. The Senate should audit itself and use the precedent to audit others. So, for example, the Senate would say to any government institution, we as the Senate, we were audited. And so we want you to be audited. Because in his opinion, maybe you go to some of the county reports, yeah, they will submit to the audit. But they will say, but the Senate said that calling for audit hasn't even been audited since the cessation of hostilities in the country. We need to audit the legislature. And every time people talk about the audit of the legislature, sometimes the legislature say, oh yeah, we call it GSC to do, some system audit to look at other issues. Belete wants a deeper and greater audit of the legislature. My friends, this morning before I came on the radio, I was watching the BBC. And the price for a barrel of oil, just last night, it was $110 per barrel. It's gone up to 115. So it's between 110 and 115. The highest in recent time. Prior to the war, the Israel-US war on Ukraine, it wasn't like that. So it's going to have a binding consequence on nations around the world, including Liberia. Already there's a process of a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. Why am I saying this? During the former administration, there was a scenario like this, and I spoke the way I'm about to speak now. The Ministry of Commerce, but particularly on this one, the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company headed by Mr. Amos Benjamin Toe. This is the time that the LPRC should be honest and should be brave and should lead. What do I mean? Do not sit here and give us the impression that with the war going on because the fact that Iran has appointed the second son of the supreme leader as its leader, you can just know that the thing may expand for a few days or whatever. The LPRC, the government of Liberia through the LPRC should not put us under the pretense that everything will remain the way it is. Recently, we saw a little bit of increase in the price of fuel. The price of gasoline may likely increase. Because you see, sometimes the honest truth is, we are not driving, I'm saying we as a country and other countries in Africa, we are not driving these things. These things are as a result of global factors, global issues. When it is better globally, all of us will hear, we know it is better. When it is not better, like the way it is now, nobody else should sit and pretend it is not better. It could get worse. Well, it could get better. But like I said, the price of a barrel of oil is increasing now. And so you know that it will affect a lot of things. This is the time now for the LPRC to put hands on deck so that they come to the public and say the truth to us and be honest to us. So say to us, probably we have to brace ourselves Because if the situation continues the way it is, we may have a little bit of increase. That's honesty in governance. You got to be honest to us, we your citizens, because all of us see that there is an issue. But what would be dishonesty will be if you sit and continue to issue these press statements and press releases and pour out under the pretense that, look, come as may, come what may, nothing is going to increase here. We have the capacity, we have everything it takes. Then all of a sudden, there is a surge and you start to tell us that things will go up. Right now is the time you're supposed to begin to tell us. Maybe you don't have to tell us where, but you got to prepare us. That's the point I'm making. You got to prepare us. You know, it's a mind thing. You got to prepare us. You got to be honest with yourself and honest with us. From where you sit as LPRC, talking to your global partners and friends and everybody, you know there will be an issue if these things continue. So if you say the truth to all, it will be honest. Sometimes on the government, you come up to say the truth, and last minute of time, you allow people to assume and speculate. Then you'll just be defending and making clarification and clarifying, and sometimes it will not work that way. Sometimes that's how it is. But if you say the truth to us, that all of us can read, and all of us are witnessing, whether it is the Al Jazeera, CNN, and other Western institutions, all of us reading, we following, we know what's going on. It's not going to be strange to us. So don't keep us in suspense. Let us know what's going to happen. Let us know the potentially what we're going to face. So it was the House of Representatives, yes. The House of Representatives postponed the hearing or the appearance of the Minister of Information, the head of the National Identification Registry, and the chairperson of the BOL, Internal Affairs Minister Francis Newman. I'm saying Internal Affairs because when he gets confirmed now, then it will be all local government minister destiny. They should have appeared to show reason why up to now we are not taking the national ID cards. And I insist that the government must do everything to ensure that process is restored, because one big thing is that the military is about to train people. And so the national ID card is crucial. But well, since the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission cleared Senator Nathaniel McGill of McGibby, I see a lot of writings. And I see some people trying to create the impression that the LACC boss, well, is not in the government interest. And so what is due process now? Due process is supposed to be the process that hears before it condemns. If people appear before that LACC, remember Councillor Alexandra Zoe is a lawyer, and I think they have other lawyers there. If people appear before the LACC and the LACC think there is no probable cause or sufficient evidence to press criminal charges against these people, they will free them. They will let them go. So I see people making it look like, somebody say, but so then LACC said Nathaniel McGill is clear. So it means the American government allowed McGill. Amen. McGill was never before the LACC. McGill was before the LACC for allegation of payroll paddling when he was the Minister of State. That was the allegation. So LACC investigated. Apparently they didn't find any merit. So if you want the state institutions to just sit and just charge people criminally because you want self-satisfaction, that is not it. These people will go to court and they will walk. No government wants to keep prosecuting people and people getting acquitted because the government doesn't have evidence to prosecute them. So these people look at, I'm sure the LACC itself, they got their own way of interrogating these people. They got lawyers there, they got trained investigators there. They will investigate you, probably they will even do background, all these kinds of things. When there's no evidence, they will clear you of wrongdoing. But when LACC will not, when convict people or send them to court. Because the LACC is aware that if you don't have the evidence and you think you can just carry people to court because you want the public to believe that you are working, people will walk scot-free, and it's not going to be a good thing for even the country or the LACC or whoever. It's not going to be a good thing. So let's not create the picture that when people appear before the LSCC at all costs, they must be guilty. No. Yeah. I see a journalist from Banga, Esilo, we are super bunkies, reporting something live. What he's saying from Banga, he says, we have been informed that since the resignation of Reverend P. Harvey William March 27 last year, students of the Dolokola Bofe High School have not been consistently following the morning devotion routine. Reports indicate that many students now arrive on campus even after the flag has already been raised. It is alleged that the situation may be linked to the Ministry of Education's failure to appoint a substantive principal for the school. This morning, he says, we brought our camera to observe firsthand how early students arrive on campus. We came to see the situation for ourselves. Now, Ursula is going live and it's almost going to 8 o'clock. The flag is not being hosted yet. As you can see in the video, he's going. So the government-run Dolokola Bofe High School in Banga seem not to have a principal yet. Where we reach out to the Ministry of Education to find out what are the issues. Bofe is the biggest government high school in Bunk. If you have a principal, the principal, Harvey Wiley, I'm sure, resigned last year. And since then, it's almost a year now. We are hearing that the government has not been able to appoint a principal at Bofe High School. Wow, you can't tell me that you can't find the qualified people. To be principal of that school, I'm sure you must have a master's in education, because the government biggest PhD will be an advantage. Well, that's it. Let's talk to you this morning. At some point, we'll do different things up until 8 o'clock. When Maxwell Grace may walk in here as our guest, 0777 700-995. In fact, let me see if he will pick up my call. Let me see what I can reach out to the Amos Store, man. The managing director of the. Before I open the lines, let me attempt to see what I can reach out to Amos Store and see what they want to do, some of the things they're doing there. As far as getting us informed is concerned, what is his institution doing? Can we get Amos Store? Yes, we can. Let me see what I can call him on this number. Let me hear from LPRC, my friends. We'll open the lines. Let me see what I can hear from Amos. In fact, I think I got him on this line, but let me just read this thing coming from the Ministry of Commerce. Ministry of Commerce and Industry and the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company issued new price circular to stabilize fuel costs amid global petroleum market turbulence. In close coordination with the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry Tuesday released a price circular that sets new ceiling prices for petroleum products in both the wholesale and retail sectors. The circular, effective immediately, aims to protect Liberian consumers and businesses from volatile global price swings while ensuring a steady supply of fuel nationwide. The product wholesale pump price in Liberian dollar, gasoline unchanged. So they say the gasoline price is still 4.02 LD, and the fuel oil unchanged, US 4.33 or 810. According to them, wholesale ceilings remain unchanged in US dollars terms, reflecting the latest average prices for March 2026. The retail price figures incorporate the current Central Bank of Liberia exchange rate of LD 187. Prices are based on the average price indices for the month of February and will be reviewed monthly in line with markets development. Okay. El Chopa, I'm always calling this thing El Chopa. It will be LPRC. I think Toa is on this line. Is everything okay in the coming weeks, month? Will it remain unchanged the way it is? Mr. Amos Toa, sorry, I could not send you a message. Good morning.
Good morning. Clarence, good morning. Let me say good morning to the citizens, our people. Thank you for reaching out. How are you?
I'm okay, Toa. How are you too?
Well, we're good. Of course, as a country and institution, We are following the global crisis, which is largely affecting different refineries and energy infrastructures, particularly in the Middle East, where Liberia and other African nations that are not oil-producing countries are getting or accessing petroleum products from. Just 2 days ago, 3 refineries were hit in Tehran, and a number of others are being targeted. So as a country, we have to brace ourselves for the surge in the prices of petroleum products globally. Even countries that are oil-producing nations have increased pump price of petroleum products. Just in 2 days, 2 days into the war, the prices of products for PMS or for gasoline and diesel were under 700. But as we speak, both products have gone way up to 1,000 plus United States dollar per metric ton. Of course, as you were indicating this morning, barrel has now gone up to 100 plus United States dollar. So this means Liberia, as a non-oil producing country, we have to brace itself. What the government is right now concentrating on is making sure that there is availability of petroleum products. But of course, the prices, we do not have control over the prices. So a few days ago, the economic management team, of course, you saw that the president assembled his cabinet, and we went there, we did a presentation, presented some very serious scenarios, and came up with recommendations that we believe are pragmatic and will be able to minimize the adverse effect on the nation. So a few days after we pull up the pressing circular that you read, we came up and increased diesel by 55 cents. Given the situation right now, we are analyzing. The government will have to convene a meeting in the next few days with petroleum stakeholders to be able to continue to assess the situation and make a determination on prices. But the situation, we don't have control over it, but the country will have to brace itself. It's important to indicate that prices are going to go up. The concern of the government is that we don't want our people standing in long on the Liberian market.
Now, Amos, yes, that was where I was, because I don't see this thing. I don't see LPRC talking. I don't see it. But from where do we import our oil to? From where do we import our oil? And the other question is, do we as a nation have any strategic oil reserve for these kinds of situations?
Well, Clarence, we have products in country, but of course they cannot. The one we have, they will take us for a couple of weeks, and we, like I said to you, we import most of our oils from the Middle East, and so once the situation is worsening on that side, that means we will definitely experience the consequential effect. And not only Liberia, but other non-oil producing countries. So one of the things we're trying to do as part of our medium to long-term strategy is to increase the country's overall storage capacity to enable us to store sufficient petroleum products. Right now, we cannot overlook anything. Thankfully, we were able to construct one more tank when we came in. That tank has finished, and then we have sufficient products in it. But of course, that cannot take us more than 3-4 months as a nation. But we got products that can take a couple of weeks, and we're still, as we speak, we have vessel import, and we're doing something.
Oh my word. Sabu, stop.
On, like I indicated to you as a government, is to make sure petroleum products are available on the Liberian market. Of course, at this stage, we don't have control over prices.
Except that I was concerned about from where are we importing.
Well, I've just said to you, most of the products we get there from the Middle East.
Okay,
some of the products come from the Middle East, and then, of course, there's STS on the West African water in the Togo Basin. So that's where we get our products from. And so, the place is badly affected. Like I said to you, energy infrastructures, refineries are being heavily targeted. They've been destroyed. So we have to brace ourselves as a nation. Yeah, we have to certainly brace ourselves as a nation.
I heard you talking about the LPRC and its partners and the government, probably in the coming days or weeks, you may have emergency meeting to determine what's going to happen, because I know the stats and the numbers and the readings from your partners and everybody probably it seemed to not be favorable. In the interim, assuming you took a decision maybe to increase the price because of what's happening in the Middle East, are you also contemplating on injecting any subsidy in the surge for fuel prices in the midst of this thing, so that importers will kind of so it become a win-win situation? I'm just thinking.
So let me say that the government has taken a decision to buy some additional petroleum products to make sure that we can collectively decide the price along with the stakeholders. Also, there is a recommendation to the government. There are products in country. Some of them they are on what we call CMA, Collateral Management Agreement. The importers have those products, but they do not own the title ship to those products. They are still belonging to the suppliers. So one of the recommendations is that the government, we can issue an LC as part of the process of having control over the petroleum product prices, issue an LC to those suppliers so that we can now decide what the pump price of petroleum product will be like. And so in addition to that, I've just indicated to you, the government has taken a decision to purchase additional products. So through the Ministry of Finance, we are going to buy additional petroleum products, and of course sell at a rate that is going to be much more reasonable compared to probably what's happening in the region. But I can tell you the government has now analyzed all the different probabilities, and the serious decision has been taken, proactive measures are being taken to make sure that we minimize the adverse effect on livelihood and on the country, on the overall.
Okay, Toy, thank you very much. And when do we expect any announcement and or pronouncement or whatever from the LPRC, and maybe in collaboration with other stakeholders in this business?
Well, I've just said to you, today is Monday, so all the different scenarios are pointing to possible increase in pump price of petroleum products. We're going to study the situation this morning and then take a decision to convene with the government along with our partners or our stakeholders in the petroleum sector to take some very decision.
We lost to it.
Is that we need to make sure that there is availability. The government's concern right now is that we need to make sure that there is availability of the products. We don't have control over the price at this stage, given what is occurring in the Middle East. So we will have a discussion. I can't tell you the specific time we will come up with an announcement, but Liberians should brace themselves for what is currently happening. There's going to be a very serious effect, on our people, and the government is very serious to make sure that that effect is significantly minimized.
Mr. Amos Toe, thank you ever so much. It was good that we reached out to you.
Thank you, Clarence. Thank you so much.
Amos Toe is the managing director of the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company. He was on the line, like I said. Yeah, sometimes it's honest. You just be honest with all of us, see what's happening. So he says, we should brace ourselves. They are considering a lot of things. But from all indications, the writings are on the wall. There may be an increment in the price of petroleum product, because, as a matter of fact, he says, well, we do not have control. All we are fighting for right now as a government, according to him, is availability to ensure that even if the price goes up, the product will be available on the market for people to buy. 0777 700 995 0555 995. If you're out of the country, the number I'm announcing is the WhatsApp number only for people outside of Liberia. 0555 026 995. Let's go to this line and take this caller. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Clarence Jackson.
Good morning.
And let me say good morning to the listener. My name is Robert, political Blatter Abraham. I call you this morning from the state incompetent. People are crying. We're not here for a expensive excuse. This government, when it came into power, there, even if I before coming to power, they condemn every other thing from the history we did for our we did that was sacrificing for. Clarence, we were fighting the Russia and Ukraine war here when gasoline prices escalated, when prices escalated, and the people said because Joshua were incompetent, Joshua never had a connection, is the reason why they were going up. So now, you are any UP, they say, but John, we are done, where go up, gasoline price go up. We not just for excuse. Joshua was facing coronavirus. He was facing coronavirus. It was a pandemic that affected the entire world. That Liberia was not exception. Liberia was affected hugely. They condemned Joshua. They voted against Joshua. They campaigned against that in two sentiments. So today, there is no excuse to rescue. Everyone bluffing. Everyone said how a story. Yeah, and again, sentiment and everything else. For these people that were here today in the field, we're not here for excuse.
Okay, sir. You've said yours. Let's go here. We take colors. Yeah, the WhatsApp lines only for WhatsApp call. Don't call or locally if you. Hello?
Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
I'm trying.
I almost delete your number from my phone.
Why?
I will tell you that when they are not talking on air.
So why you brought it on air now? You just let plow, man.
I'll just give you a gist of what I intended to do.
Passing all, you ought to delete my number from your phone. You know I'm your friend on your right hand. You can't, I dare you, you can't do it, Musa. Go ahead.
Okay, Karen, now call my name. Today, if
no, call your last name. Call your last name.
Musa Kone is a name.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Karen, I'm in your country, Bon County, I'm in Maimu.
Okay.
And if I was a news editor today controlling any policy, my headline would be in bold letters, we do not have control. Liberian, brace yourself. And
so editor listening probably might be their balance for tomorrow.
They have to, because that is that. That is this, Clarence. And I think I got me getting small trouble. Amos, I know the last time I ever saw you, but the people say I want payroll. You were honest to say to the Liberian people that we should brace ourselves. You do not have control over petroleum products. This is being very honest, but if this statement is not belated, then I don't know what it is. Because I also remember you saying that we have control over the price here, and all of your partisans were jubilating that the United Party government, bring the gas price down or petroleum price down. And just by your admitting that you do not have control, those persons have to know that when it comes to gas, I will just call it gas because it can be easier for every one of us. No government, more especially in Liberia, I will restrict my comment in Liberia, can control the price. What we can do in Liberia, have always done in Liberia, is to just regulate. Fall in line, when you go up, we go up small, when you come down, we come down. That is how. So, to liberate any government, past and present, of being incompetent because gas price go up, it was always not a good thing. But today, you have said it. So, everybody, I also want to join the President Managing Director to say we should tighten our belt. There's a possibility that gas price will go up, and this government and any other government has no control over it. That is being very clear. Unfortunately, you people said George Weah was incompetent. Today, you are admitting that's a good thing to admit. Like, I will borrow this from Azedo. You can lead your way. You can lie to lead, but you cannot. Some kind of way you can say it. And this is just clear. But the bottom line is, we get control over gas price.
Okay, Musa.
Gas price will go up as long as that war in the Middle East continues.
Thank you. So those of you at home, the 0555-026-995 is just for the people outside. That's WhatsApp number. So sometimes when these people on, you keep calling locally, it block them. It's not fair. 0555-026-995. That WhatsApp number only for Liberians outside the country, not for people who are in Montreal to be calling. We're begging you, yeah? Yeah, we're begging you. Please, because when you do that, you embarrass the people. Hello? Good morning. Hello? On this WhatsApp line. Yeah, you are live.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't want to speak on your talking point, but I want to talk to you offline.
All right. After the
Cambodia.
you are in Cambodia. After the show, I will call you. I will surely call you. I see the number. I will do. I will call you. Cambodia. Some Liberians in well, one of the countries also want to talk to me about something. I think they are stranded. Something happening. Hello.
Thank you. Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Thomas F. Joseph, calling from and this number
Okay.
Thank you for your talking point this morning, Clarence Jackson. When I listen to my director from LPRC, I think he make it clear. This shouldn't be political. Yesterday, yes, maybe say, oh, they were in opposition, the political side. They were political yesterday because the way the pure government play, the part they play were not good. You hear me?
What part they play?
Yeah. Yesterday, their part they play, they make the gas business to go at the end of the day, you got to spend 2 nights or 3 nights before you can get gas.
You think it was under their control? You think if they had absolute control over any government want its citizen to go stay in line to buy petroleum products?
Listen now, Claudia, let me learn. I can't do it.
No, you're not learning. I'm asking you. You said the way the people treated the gas situation, people were standing on line. So I said, do you think they just wanted to do it because they were bad, or it was beyond their control? That was the only thing they would have done.
I will answer the question. I come into it and please give me time. I beg you. I will answer the question.
Go ahead, bossman.
Yeah, when I say in the sense, if the government will come to that, then I would say they file the same suit to say people to get in land to spend 2 to 3 nights in land at the end of the day for all to get gas, and now I would say they file the same suit. But now say you have not come to the director continue to say he will make sure the availability of gas. People shouldn't send in land to go and file a same suit. Then now if we go to that place, there will be a problem with
the man didn't say people shouldn't stay in line. We reach that place. So answer the question now.
Yeah, it was the same way that they don't have control over it at that time.
Bye-bye, man. All right, hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I'm Melvin joining from the compound of the National Transport Authority this morning.
Yeah, Melvin.
And you know, Clarence, the thing about governing is about being responsible and being accountable to the people. You know, there were times in this country that the price of white was racketing, and the government at the time decided to convince people that rest was available, and they went from storeroom to storeroom to tell the people that they had control over the price of white. At the end of the day, they did not have absolute control over the press of rent, and the press of rent remains skyrocketed until the Unity Party government took over and brought solution to this problem. The reason you see the MD for LPRC coming to the Liberian people and saying that we should brace ourselves is because of the war currently going on that all of us are aware of. That's what responsible government should do. Be accountable to the people. There were times in this country that we were out of petrol. The previous caller just before my call came.
But there are evidence of instances where during the CDC administration they would say same, and people like you and other people would say no, the government can't tell us they ain't get control. They put in plan that lack of leadership. The man not popular.
No, Clarence, you see this. It's just about honesty. When the price of petroleum was going out, we predicted it. And say because of XYZ reason there will either be petroleum shortage or the price of petroleum will go up. They are denying it.
Is this Toga Melvin Sivas?
This is Toga Melvin Sivas talking to you. We predicted it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we predicted that there will be the price of petroleum will go up, and then there will be shortage of petroleum, and they deny it. But at the end of the day, it happened. Because we monitor the international market, monitor the global market, and see what's happening. Now we are governing, we come to tell our people that brace yourself for it, because what is happening in the Middle East today, the price of petroleum will go up, but we will make sure that there's be no shortage. This is why the government of Liberia is putting in measures.
Okay, my brother, thank you so much. Let's go to this caller from Rwanda, Paul Kigami, Rwanda. I'm very sure. Hello.
Good morning, Big Brother Clarence Jackson.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. My name is G. Ryer Somerville Jr. and I usually follow the show from Kigali, Rwanda.
Okay.
Brother Clarence, I listen to most of your callers and I listen to the MD. And Brother Clarence, we as Liberians, we need to put politics aside and come together as a country. So when people provide information, I think the best thing to do for yourself is to sit and analyze the information. There are two key things that I take away from the MD. The MD said we should brace ourselves as Liberians, and then he said the government is trying to make sure that there is availability. What more to citizens want the MD to see? I think that just being sincere to the Liberian people, and that's how a responsible government official should be. It's not about making excuses and other stuff, but make sure that you be sincere to the people in turn. The current crisis, we all know what is happening in the Middle East, and we know that once there is war in the Middle East, Liberia is no exception, will be affected greatly. But what we are saying is sincerity. Come to the Liberian people and tell them what is unfolding.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. You've said yours. Let's go back to this line. 8:30, Maxwell Grace Bay comes in. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Charles Roberts, and I'm in Monrovia.
Okay, Charles. Let's hear you.
Yeah, so there are many things to talk about.
You're worrying about the gal now, your car coming, Sonny.
The woman is, my man, put water in the car. Well, when you look there, gas will get inside.
I forgot to say, Uncle Gay, Basako.
No, but whatever the case is, my point would be to now, allow the shortage, and, where it will result to people standing in long queue, even though it's still something that we do not have control on, because when there's war in the Middle East, it will affect everywhere. So it's in favor of the opposition, because they will use the situation. So anybody, if I in opposition and you do your work, I will criticize. Like, oh no, work they're doing this. So, but there are a lot of issues to talk about. First, I hear you just pass more around, the LSCC, and the way people trying to make it look like.
I like your words. Pass more.
Yeah, pass it right, and because you pass it right, it's small. I say you want to pass it right, it's small.
Go ahead.
So due process is hearing before confession. Now, when someone who was alleged to have stolen something come before you as a judge, but before they will even come before you, say, yeah, I took it. Then when the reason why they come to you so that the record will show that they in, because that is a process for adjudication or litigation. Then they come to you, you clear them, even though the person admitted in the case of the McGavy that you may mention. Someone say, yeah, I'm responsible for putting 700 and some more person here on the payroll, like cost the government like 50 million. It's some more million. LSD, the government has issue where they say LSD, the LSD say they were not criminal. Okay, we leave it. So you cannot hold other people responsible for criminality the LSD as well. Because the person accused said something, they admitted, then you clear them. So we are
but Charles, I was not part of the investigation, but probably the LSCC look at a lot of things, to criminality, to find criminal element is a lot of things. Maybe the LSCC look at whether he had the authority to do what he did in that position he was serving in. If he had the authority to do what he did, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just thinking.
So I agree. So everybody's speculating. So they say, well, you keep saying maybe. Like how other people are saying maybe. So let's just leave it at that maybe. Yeah, let's leave it at that maybe.
Okay, Charles.
Everybody be saying maybe.
Second point.
The other one, look, Clarence, if it was wrong yesterday, it will be wrong today. It will be wrong tomorrow. I keep seeing two bosses before Mika. Information ministry on the Capitol Hill there. And those buses are intended for the workforce to take them to work and back home. Because, and I speak to you, the same way people were crying to have Mega John Weah time for salary, the salary is still very low. I don't know why it's still at the Weah level, but it is still very low. Even if it is increased to 125 or 150, it is still low for certain people who are supposed to be brought to work and taken back home. Now, the information we're getting is that The mayor used to be called because I don't no longer call him that name because when you were called Fidel Castro, he was breaking chairs at the university campus for good governance. Now he's in charge. They make more buses to transport our people from work from home to work and work back to home. But he said those buses must be dedicated by the president. Only 2 buses. I don't institution about 5 buses, about 4 buses, 6, 7 buses here.
Charles, wait. What you say? The 2 buses the Ministry of Information bought, they're not using it, they're not bringing people from work and carrying them back?
So for the past 3 months, those buses have been there. I never they say procurement, and they don't get it's not in the budget for gasoline, for the buses. You bought buses for work up. It's not in your budget.
Maybe that's different thing, man. But for you to say they want the president will go delegate 2 buses. No, not true. I will reach out to Mika. I will reach out to Mika.
No, in fact, wherever the case, wherever for Praga they will delegate it, wherever for gasoline, it is unfair for the people to be seeing the buses back there for 3 months now.
Okay, Charles, I will reach out to Bye, Charles. I will reach out. If Minister Daniel Sano and other people listening, you can call. What Charles is saying, it's funny, but look, for you to say the Ministry of Information bought 2 buses and they're still packing the buses. They're not using it to get their employees to and from where because they want the president to go delegate the president will delegate 2 buses. I'll say that loud. I won't see that one there. But I'll reach out to Mika to find out what the issues are. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Clarence.
Good morning. The Chara guy can really make people laugh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Godwin Weah Jr. I'm joining you from the car with there this morning.
Godwin, how are you, man?
I'm good, Clarence. Clarence, I just to take a little back, on the manner and form in which edition, including you, are portraying what is currently happening on the with the petroleum business.
Okay.
Good. Clarence, I mean, like I said to you the other day, you who sit on the radio in the morning, you determine how the discussion is made. You lay the foundation for the discussion. Now, if you make it to look that the government is not being bold to the Liberian people, I mean, that's how you started the conversation. And then when you call the MD make it explicit that we should embrace ourselves. This particular thing is not something that we all have control over. Yesterday, when CDC had the opportunity to run the country, similar situation occurred, which was not severe as compared to what is happening now. The MDA told you that the people have bombed about 2 to 3 petroleum places or area where we get the petroleum from where we getting petroleum from. That was not the case with CDC yesterday. For in that I mean, it was just being reckless.
But got you. I don't get your point. What did you say I do? I don't get it. Because my concern was. My concern was that I'm aware of the bombings Amos talked about. I'm aware that the crisis in the Middle East is seeing a surge in the price of petroleum. I even said that the price of a barrel of oil has gone up to more than $100. Amos admitted that. And I said it will be honesty if the government come out to put us in our frame of mind earlier. If from all indications of what we know and what we see is what it is, the government must tell us to brace ourselves. It must not hide it from us so we don't blame the government tomorrow. So I don't understand why your issue.
So Clara, here is the point. When you started the conversation before calling the MD, your insinuation was that the government was holding back on information. They were not coming to the public to show the public or to tell the public to embrace themselves. That was your
No, God, in 1 minute. No. I did not insinuate. So I said it will be good. In fact, I encourage the government to speak out. I said, hey, good for the government to speak out now. Because when the time comes where you are, and I said, don't put us under the pretense that what's happening in the Middle East is not something to worry about. It is something to worry about. Be honest to us. That's what I said.
Yeah, so Clarence, I mean, you say all of that, knowing that you are going to call the MD to come and make clarification. I mean, you should have allowed the MD to come and make it. If you're going to hold the information by and not calling Liberia to embrace yourself based on the situation that is going on in the Middle East, then you have a case. But you made it to look there.
No, but I don't get your point. But anyway, I respect your opinion, Godwin. But
yes,
I did not accuse the government of anything. I don't know. In fact, I think I helped the government, sir. I think I helped the government to help all of us to brace up. I think I helped the government.
Okay, Clarence, let me lay on my point, please. Let me lay. So let me tell citizens who think that this government is reckless as they were yesterday. No, the government is not reckless. That's why the MD said they have been conversation. In fact, the government going to make sure that we have availability where you not find people going to sleep and putting rack and somebody sleeping on the land for 2-3 days before they can get 5 liters of petroleum. That's
okay, Gordon. Thank you so much. Their job hard. They hard to do. If you ever thought it's not a hard job, then you're joking. Good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm Murphy from Chef of Operation CDC District number 15.
Family, let's hear you, my brother.
Yeah, okay. For me, I actually this seems to happen because I trust during the opposition time.
I'm not getting you.
Hello, you got me now?
I mean, I was hearing you, but I didn't understand what you were trying to say. That's what I say.
Okay, I'm saying during their opposition time, taking those things to be the CDC making.
Okay.
Yes. So at the time, when CDC came to power in 2018, the rent price was $13. But when Ukraine and Russia started fight, the rent price and the gasoline petrol price started going up. So they not consider it that it was international crisis.
Okay. Let me take this international caller. I'm sure a female, probably from somewhere around the world. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence. This is Victoria. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Victoria, what's your full name?
Victoria Tay.
Okay, Vic. Let's hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, so I didn't listen to the entire show, but I just got on. And my question here is that your previous caller that was saying that you were trying to put the government on the spot and stuff like that. This whole thing that Amos Sweat is saying this morning is kind of belated.
Okay. It's
belated in the sense that this thing, the whole bombing thing started a long time. Come out to the public. So why, if you were not going to call him this morning, did they have any press conference to say this thing that happened in the Middle East is going to affect us this way, or you're going to affect us that way?
Exactly. And I thought Gordon would say something about for him to say I put in the government under the bus.
It is supposed to be like that. So I don't understand what he's talking about, that you were trying to bam up the government or something like that. I want people need to be real to themselves. It happened yesterday. Everybody was putting more on the previous government. Now it happening. Now it's a global thing. They don't have control over it. But when it was happening before, they didn't know that these things happen. And when it happened like that, Liberia would not facing anything. We are not noted to do anything, not even to clean pepper. We're getting everything from foreign countries. So when this kind of thing happen, we should know how we should take part of it and try to talk it the way we're supposed to talk it. But when they were in opposition, they were all over the place. They were from one radio station to another radio station. Today, all the us should put our tail in our something and say, oh, that global something. It's not going to fly by anybody. Okay. We're going to speak on it, and we're going to speak on it.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Vic. Let me take on call, and maybe we take a break, small, man, because we've been on this call thing nearly 30 minutes now. Let's take this call. Hello?
Clarence, how are you?
I'm good, sir.
This is Janji Bakban.
Mr. Bakban, let's hear you.
I went away.
They your money pay and charge.
Okay, I put the pause for there. They your money pay. Okay, Clarence, to the issue.
Yes, sir.
I listened to the youth chairman of the Unity Party and some of their surrogates and supporters. How can you tell me in a war that the war in Ukraine was not a global crisis? How possible is that, Kevin? Somebody is telling me that the war in Ukraine during the CDC regime it was not a global crisis. Somebody is also telling me that COVID-19 was not a global crisis where airports and other places were shut down. How can they think that way? The very first thing, yes, the LPRC and the Ministry of Commerce have contradicted themselves even from the inception of the crisis. If you can remember last week, before the cabinet meeting, they had a press conference that they have control and they want to maintain all the prices and price will not go up. After 2 days, the prices went up, the price of fuel went up. So for somebody to come on this radio who's supposed to be doing the administrative work, like maybe people can say, oh, the CDC government was reckless.
The man will be working, huh?
Oh, boy, and I used to say we're supposed to be working, that's what we call show. The men will be making sure that our NTA buses that can't put a Basel, Ghana, and other places. So let people be very clear here when there are issues. The global crisis, once you're in governance or you're governing, it will exist because you don't have control over these things. If Jory is inept, CDC inept. You went to Harvard now, is coming, then you got over that global crisis.
I beg you, man.
No, let me just conclude, please. I beg you.
Yeah.
You went to Harvard and Oxford now, you're telling us that because it happened in the Middle East, that means a global crisis. So Ukraine and Russia were not global crisis. So you're telling me that the COVID-19 wasn't a global crisis? Then they got found place, but not kind of excuse that they came to rescue. And then they go out, they will get online, we will publish it, we always tell the Liberian people that they are very inept and they don't understand anything in governance.
Thank you, Janji Bakbe. I will take this as a final one because if from outside the country, these people will not sleep just to call. Hello?
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, man.
And good morning to people in Radio Land. My name is Jacob Gosling and I call from North Dakota, USA.
Yeah, Jacob.
I think the most of the callers being disingenuous to you, and we need to apologize to you because what you did, it was what the government should have done. Because they should not wait for you to call them before they come and speak up to us. They should speak to us. So you took your time this morning, you reached out. We should be applauding you because the information that came out now going to help the public.
Don't mind I got it, man. Anything about Clarence, I mean, I like it.
We criticized CDC yesterday. Me, myself, I criticized CDC many days for someone wrong thing they did. So when we do wrong, why we can't stand up here and admit that we did wrong? It is wrong. But the main thing I want to speak to is the LACC issue. I think the LACC issue, I saw this from a distance and I said it. And we say the Clarence, I know people will get angry. But the LACC boss does not deserve to be in that position. I call it going down Julius.
Why? Why?
She's a setup child to the Unity Party. In the first place, even her appointment.
So what is criminal about putting people on payroll?
No, there is nothing criminal. But I know that there will be more free clearing from her. That girl is a setup to the Unity Party. See, the thing is very
but let me also ask you now, do you want her to at all costs press criminal charges against people even if there is none?
No. I called on the scene on Julia's show and I provided evidences on cases that she even cleared again from the past. There was check published by Martin Colley from the Watch Commission where people went on counter without proving any document collected $50,000 US, $70,000 US, and where the money go, nobody will account for it. They cleared the same people. I provided the evidence. But stay here and stay for not learning, and most of that, before she was appointed, the law was violated. And because of that law being violated, they need to remove her. Two persons from the same country cannot be sitting down on the bench at the same time as commission.
She and who there? She
another guy there from River Says. They had to go and face a Senator Porcher, simply raised that issue here in Dallas Delon. And that issue was, because of that issue, that what they confirmation still on. They did not confirm that easily. But at the end of the day, because the opposition did not have strength at the time you got to the government.
But if that is true, they should not have confirmed that. If it was established that the both of them from the same county, the Senate should have stood its ground.
Call Senator Porcher, and call and if I'm lying.
Okay, thank you. Let me go back to Mr. Amos Toer. He's back on his line. Probably, my people, I beg you, just hold it once more. I'm about to take a break. We'll get our guest very shortly. Mr. Toer, you wanted to pass something back quickly?
As Clarence, I just wanted to clarify because I see that there is some kind of misconception here. The LPRC issue statement about this crisis, and the same thing I'm stating here, we stated that in our statement. They were syndicated all across newspapers and on our pages, social media pages.
I know, local calls are coming again. Damn it.
Public since the start of this conflict. The second thing I want to talk about, Clarence, is that, look, the crisis that happened here during the Weah administration, it was not as a result of the Ukraine war. Citizens should stop lying. This happened in 2020. You understand? It happened in 2020. It was not as a result of the Ukraine war. It was as a
Mr.
consequence
MD.
of sheer incompetence
Okay.
and corruption.
Okay, Chief. We'll hold you there.
See, okay, the main impetus to
Oh wow, what's going on? The online stuff is okay, Mr. Amos Tower, we hold you there. The guys insist it was not the result of incompetence, it was a result of global crisis. Maxwell Grispe is here at this point in a rather different capacity today. We will talk to him a lot when he was the head of the Liberia Small Arms Commission, Liberia National Commission Small Arms. Then, a mutated. Or he led the effort that got the thing to becoming the Arms Commission today. He's here as our guest in a rather, like I said, different capacity today. President Boaka will now appoint Maxwell Grispe as head of they call it the Witness Protection Agency, and he will tell us the mission, the vision, what are the core values, and we'll have a very wonderful conversation here today, at least an hour and 30 minutes, so that he will have sufficient time to respond to some of the concerns. Mr. Grispe, I'd like to say good morning. It's always good to have you. You've been on the bench. You've been quiet. The last time I checked, you were supervising an effort I was giving Monrovia facelift. I don't know why you people didn't continue on that, but good morning.
I'm sure in the interviews we had, good morning again. Let me say good morning to our people across Liberia. I have been informed that several radio stations across Liberia will be relaying you. The station manager for Buto Radio just texted me that he's relaying your program. Same as Liberty Radio in Sino. So good morning to my people there in Sino as well.
Okay. How is life? How is everything going with you?
Wonderful. We're doing very good. We are not very young as we used to be. We get older every time.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
We get older every time. So every day that passes by, our numbers add up. So we're trying to be more quiet, listen more, and do a lot of work, meaningful work for this country without making a loud noise about the things we do. But it's good to be here this morning. The last time we talked, we had a short-term youth employment exercise happening. Short-term because it was not intended to be, everlasting. Yeah, and I think over the period of 3 months, we were able to put more than 3,000 people to work. We want to say thanks to them, those who sacrifice, and I'm sure we're happy that it ended very successfully.
Okay.
While working in your studio, just to make you laugh a little, our friends who are challenged youth saw me walking in, and the guy said, Honorable Griswold, we have not seen you for long. Then the other man said, yeah, the small arm boss. So I wanted to use this time again to give that disclaimer. I'm no longer the head of small arms. They are new. We have a very vibrant team at the commission. It was never a monarchy that I needed to head. I was never the king of that institution. We had a tenure, we exited, and we're happy to be where we are at this point.
How is the Maxwell or the Grispe Foundation?
No, so Grispe Care Foundation. There were many successful Grispe even before me. So okay. I'm not even the most famous Grispe that you know. I'm just one of them.
How is the foundation?
Very great. Amongst all the people who live on earth who come from Sino County, in the last 6 years, no human being living on earth has spent more in education than Maxwell Grispe.
From Sino?
Yeah. Take a microphone to Sino County. No human being living on earth with their own pocket money has spent more on education to send people to school from our county than Maxwell Grispe.
That's good. That's good.
That one I debate. Take a microphone there, but let's talk the government.
So who is the speaker?
I'll make you. No. You can't even do that to the district.
You tell me. Who is the speaker?
You know.
No. He's a colleague.
I beg you. I don't want to tell. I think you know that.
Why you call Vincent into the district?
I would never respond to that question.
I said, who is the speaker? You know him.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Clarence, let's move on, man. But Maxwell is okay. Now, what is the Witness Protection Agency, Maxwell. It's a new agency, and I believe you have a lot of work to do, from setting up structures to appointment or recruitment of qualified individuals, but then generally for providing serious public education on the institution and the work you will do. How do you start telling us about this Witness Protection Agency? What is it? What do you do?
Thank you. So, I don't know why sometimes we get very difficult tasks, and this is one of them, but we're very excited about it. The whole idea about witness protection is a requirement from the UN Convention. Most of the conventions we signed, one of them is the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC. When you look at Article 32 and 33, the Liberian government signed and ratified that convention and committed to establish institutions that will protect whistleblowers, witnesses who are involved in giving information on anti-graft, anti-corruption issues, as well as felonious crimes, And since the ratification, we've made several progress. We established the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission that is doing a very wonderful job in investigating and prosecuting corruption cases. But we continue to experience concerns about safety of people who may have information. So a witness, for instance, is somebody who has information and would like to testify, either is willing to testify or at some point in time testify during a proceeding, whether criminal or administrative proceeding. That's what that person is considered a witness. So we've had several of these kinds of people, either in administrative hearing or criminal proceeding, where sometimes they go to testify in administrative proceeding. As a consequence of the testimony, there are retaliatory action. The bosses dismiss them because of the information they provided. Even though it was good, it was to the end of fighting corruption, administrative malpractices, but yet they get punished for that. And that is unacceptable. Nobody should be punished for, flagging wrong in public service or private service, especially so when it will be to the detriment of the state. So the government in 2022 established an autonomous agency under the executive branch to oversee the protection of witnesses and whistleblowers. Whistleblowers also are people who make disclosure, about wrong, either in a private setting, in a private sector area, or in a public service, which the law forbids. But that person has no intention whatsoever to testify. So there's always he or she intends to be anonymous. They don't want to be known. They just want to provide that information. So these are the category of people we have the obligation to ensure they are protected as an institution. Since 2022, you realize that the government, even though they had a law, but the agency was never operationalized since 2022. So in October of last year, between June to October, of course, the law required that you advertise the head of the institution and the deputy. It's a competitive process led by the Ministry of Justice, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, Independent Human Rights Commission, and civil society. In this case, it was Santa. They led the vetting process, and eventually myself and my deputy, Vani Sharif, came out as the top candidate, and the president, endorsed that report and got us appointed. Since our appointment, we've been reviewing the laws. So I share with you the mission, the vision, the mandate of the institution, and for the sake of the public, we can share with them what the mandate is. So basically, there are 3 stages of investigation. The first stage is the pre-hearing stage. So when a crime is committed, in a common setting, they'll take the book out of it and just be very simple. So somebody does wrong. The first thing somebody says, they call the police. Especially if it's something against the law. So you call the police. In most instances, people just don't go to court. So they go to the police. That one is the investigation and pre-hearing. So if somebody committed a heinous crime and you witness that crime and you want to testify, but the person who committed a crime is either, for instance, it could be something concerning a ghetto in the community, and you know that they're doing drugs business and the government arrested them, you won't testify because you know where they can do the trade, but you're afraid. At that stage, you will contact our agency. Because you won't go start talking, and then because of the testimony you give, then your horse is in the community where the ghetto is, and then people come after you and your family. So when you provide that information to us, we would, assess the threat level, where there is need for relocation of you, and under the current law, not just you, but if your family will be at risk, the government has the obligation to also relocate you and your family to help us give testimony that will prosecute people who are involved with drugs and drugs trade. So they are served this under the scope. You have drugs trade, drugs trafficking, money laundering. You have organized crime, terrorist financing, and other felonies. So it's a big scope. So witnesses in all these areas, we have the obligation to ensure their protection. So that's one, pre-hearing investigation. The second one is trial, of course. So after pre-hearing, police conduct an investigation, they charge you, then they proceed to court, and indictment is done. Then you have to go, you will be arraigned, and then you will plead not guilty. So that trial process, the government cannot proceed to prosecute a criminal defendant except that the government can prove a case beyond reasonable doubt. And when people say, oh, the justice system not working, there's no justice system without witnesses. Many times people mistaken the work we do with the jurors. So people say, well, man, office to Supreme Court, no, we're not involved with juror management. The jurors are the people who get selected. They lay people from the community who will have to hear the case and make determination before the judge, renders its ruling. But I want jurors. We're not managing jurors. We are managing witnesses, people who will testify in court, either for the criminal defendant or against the criminal defendant. But if you look at the way the law is tailored for Liberia, it's more leaned towards prosecution, supporting the government. Generally, we've assessed other programs like in South Africa, Kenya, and other places. Like in South Africa, you have the Independent Witness Protection Office. They are leaned towards the human right-based approach of witness protection. That is, they don't only support prosecution. But in the case of Liberia, because of the challenges we've been having with prosecuting cases, establishing our cases beyond reasonable doubt, getting people to willingly testify, our lawyers lean more towards prosecution. And that is something in the future we'll review. But let's improve on what we have first. Let's see. You had to ask some kids, for instance, one morning we all got up, and then somebody or ghost just, got the Capitol building on fire. It's a case that is before the court. We can't talk much about it. But you and I know if we were in other countries, by this time we will be seeing video footage and a lot more on that because of the sophistication. Whether it's the CC camera and the patriotism. People will naturally come out to say, I have this information, because that is the symbol of our democracy. How do we encourage citizens, regardless of whatever party they are from or whatever individual they feel loyal to help the state prosecute people who commit such an egregious wrong against the state? That is almost an assault on our democracy. And there are many other cases of that kind. So our institution, we are responsible to set the platform, create the ambience, so that people become consciously aware of their obligation to testify, so that we prosecute people who do wrong. When people commit crime, they don't commit crime against the government. They commit crime against the state. And many times people say, oh no, like for instance, in the case of a theft, somebody can steal from you, Clarence. When that person steals from you, even though that you, the person, deprived of your property, but that action to deprive you is not against you. Because the law forbids somebody from taking your property without your knowledge and trying to deprive you of that property. So when that person does that, that person commits a crime against the country, not you. Even though you are injured by their action. So our role is to make sure people who witness such a case come out to help the state prosecute. And we're going to do it using the available laws. So the second stage, that trial stage. And the third stage is the post-trial. Some cases, whether it's a rape case or an organized crime or it's money laundering, when you provide testimony as a consequence, we have some cases now where some of the witnesses provided testimony in international prosecution of international criminals. And they return to Liberia, Family members of these international criminals, some who are in prison in foreign land, have been terrorizing these witnesses. So part of our responsibility has been to engage with them, provide them the security and support, where the threat level is seen as being visible. So that's another obligation we have. So individuals who will testify as a consequence of their testimony, who may be at risk, we have obligation as an institution of government to provide that support. Maybe if we had this institution active and running and operational, some of the cases of 2020, which led to the gruesome death of many persons, some very prominent, I will not call the name because these things have reflections. Maybe we've done better as a country. So that's what we have.
So meaning the ground is running now. You kick the ground running, you're working already. But I'm just thinking, what's the difference between the Witness Protection Agency, for example, in the context of witness protection? I'm just asking myself, is it not one of the functions of the Anti-Corruption Commission? Is there anything different?
Of course, there is something different. Okay. So the Anti-Corruption Commission has a mandate to investigate and prosecute corruption cases. Mm-hmm. And Liberia is not an exception.
It is also on our obligation to protect whistleblowers.
So the component, you have to realize that the UNCAC, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, provides, there are several articles requiring the state to perform certain action, including the protection of witnesses and whistleblowers. In the absence of a statutory body to exclusively do that, obviously the government will not work in isolation. An agency will be doing that. For instance, cases involving victims in sexual abuses. Even though the general ministry has diverse functions to do many things, but amongst them included the protection of victims who will have to testify, because the government of Liberia had no separate agency responsible for that. Before FIA or FIU and subsequently FIA became an agency, the Ministry of Justice and other agencies were playing the role of trying to track money laundering similarly. So now that the government has established an exclusive institution for the protection of whistleblowers and witnesses, what does that mean? It means that provision that was implemented by the LCC now becomes the function of the new institute. As a matter of fact, the LCC, and with all due respect and praises to them, they were very instrumental in pushing for the establishment of this institution. So I'm sure they were very cognizant that they had, they were playing that role, and they wanted an institution who were exclusively playing that role as required by Article 32 and 33 of the United Nations Convention.
Let's move forward. I'm just looking at the broader scope of your work. How do you work to safeguard witnesses outside Monrovia, for example? How do one get in touch with you, for example? Will you have counting structures in the near future? Are you contemplating on that? What's the procedure? What is your setup? What's the composition of everything? Do you have investigators? Do you have, I'm just give us the scope. Yeah.
So you want to have everything you want, but first we are walking gingerly, because this is a platform that is going to help, if we had challenged with confidence in the criminal justice system, we have an opportunity now to rebuild that confidence. So part of what we've been doing in the last 2 months, with the support of the Ministry of Justice and the LACC, in January, you will remember, we advertised initial 34 positions. It was a requirement. People say, why you have to do that? It's a legal requirement. Institution like ours, which is both in the anti-corruption or integrity sector and the security sector, we can compromise on recruitment exercise. So yes, we advertised 34 positions. With the support of the Ministry of Justice, LACC, Civil Service Agency, thanks to all these institutions, the Independent Human Rights Commission, we had a recruitment panel for almost 3 weeks helping us to interview and vet some of the best and brightest Liberians. Final determination will be made this week. They're submitting a final report, which we will have to add on based upon the recommendation of the recruitment panel. We saw some of the smartest Liberians who we just couldn't believe would be, are in the quadrant of unemployment. But some of the best you can never see. All of the 34 positions, we have almost a little over 920 submission applications.
For 34 positions.
Yeah. So it was a very, very rigorous process. Some of the colleagues who have tried reaching out to me in the last 2 weeks, it was almost impossible because we sat, the panel, we have to sit between 9 and 6 almost every day to run through with between 15 to 20 set of interviews, So I want to say thanks to the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Minister, and the Chairman of the Rule of Law, Pillow, under the arrest agenda, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Attorney Kemoka, also the LACC represented by the Commissioner for Prosecution, Commissioner Wilson. I want to say thanks. The Independent Human Rights Commission represented by Commissioner Allison, and the CSA represented by Mr. Jackson. He's responsible for employment services. Thanks to my deputy and the secretary who assisted this process. This was very important for us to roll out the program. Where we are now, our team, we've been reviewing both the whistleblower law. If you look at the whistleblower law, I don't know what you have here, I can share with you. You realize, if you don't have a copy, I can share with you.
Go ahead, Maxa.
We're looking at both the whistleblower law and the witness protection law. What do we do to get the public buy-in and support for this program? And interestingly, under Section 18 of the Whistleblower Act, if you were to go there, you realize that the legislature made a decision that all employers in the Republic of Liberia must conspicuously publish the Whistleblower Act at their premises. It is not optional. It's obligatory. We believe this is one of the ways we can engage extensively with the public. Because once we intensify education on the whistleblower law, and the reason for that is simple. There are key areas in the Whistleblower Act that can facilitate, disclosure of information which can subsequently lead to testimony in court. For instance, if you were to read the Whistleblower Act, you realize that protected disclosure is defined. Many times people have information on wrong, private wrong or public wrong, or crime, and the first thing they would do is to run to Facebook to do Facebook Live. And the reason we have to do more on that law is because the law defines protected disclosure, what protected disclosure is. And it also defines authorized authorities. So a disclosure becomes protected when you have an information about crime or a wrong, and you want to give that information, you must disclose that information to authorized authorities. So, for instance, if the action you witnessed was an act of tax evasion or corruption, you can provide that information to any law enforcement agency and the civil society, credible civil society. But in most instances, you want to share with the LACC, the Ombudsman, Witness Protection, or Ministry of Justice. So that information, because the law provides, under the Witness Protection Act, Section 7, Can A says, any person who discloses the information of a witness which jeopardizes the life and safety of that witness commits felony of the first degree. And the law provides that the minimum, in the event that person is found guilty of the act, the minimum jail sentence is 5 years. And the maximum is 10 years. So we intend to do more with this. So when you provide that disclosure to an authorized authority, the authorized authority has the obligation to protect that disclosure. But if you go to Facebook to do Facebook Live, how can we provide you the kind of protection? First, you expose your identity, Second, we have not verified the authenticity of the information you're giving. If you were to provide that disclosure to an authorized person as required by law, you are protected. Even if the information turned out not to be true, even though the law says, yeah, we can hold you in contempt for providing false information, but you still under that envelope of protected disclosure. The risk to you is far less than going to Facebook Live. That's what we want to engage more. So every employer in the Republic of Liberia, the law says, must. So hopefully in the next 180 days, we are pushing the chairman of the Rule of Law Pillow to see how he reached out to the president, because the law existed for 4 years. People can be saying, oh, we have no information. You have no information? We believe this is the time. The government said no business as usual. No employer in the Republic of Liberia after 180 days should be operating business here will are conspicuously displaying the whistleblower at their premise as required by law. Not to do it a violation of Liberian law.
They should be doing that.
It is not optional. So that's why we need the political will. We are happy the president is very excited about this. He personally, pressurized the Ministry of Justice to expeditiously complete our recruitment for our appointment. So what we tell you is this is something the mansion sees as a priority. What the government doing about corruption? It is not just about fighting corruption. It is about even fighting perception of corruption.
When am I held responsible for lying, for example, or for misinforming your institution, for example? Do we have to look at elements of maybe intention, or when am I held accountable? Do you have to get to a stage where you can determine that I intentionally just want to lie, I intentionally misled you, or probably I too got the information and I gave it to you, but
Clarence, I don't know why you pretend as though you're now a lawyer. Some people became lawyer by apprenticeship.
I'm not lawyer.
I see you, and let the Bar Association and the Supreme Court forgive me, but I see you like in the 1970s where you behave as a printed lawyer. Of course, for an act to be considered a crime, of course, there must be the elements that you have to have the culpability. So you can say, oh, the person gave you information. Like you said rightly, sometimes people deliberately provide information with intention to mislead. That's why when you give your information, we will not just act on it. The mens rea element must be present. Did you have that intent to mislead us?
Okay.
And if it is intentionally done, sometimes because of whatever inducement or whatever reason, yes, you commit perjury on our law. You can be held, in contempt for that action. The law is clear. I think it should be Section 7D of the Witness Protection Law. But, and in the event that information become injurious to a third party, the Whistleblower Act provides that such matter can be reported to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court shall appoint a committee of 3 persons to investigate and establish whether or not that act of defamation through that disclosure injure you, and what is the quantum to quantify the injury. And in the event monetary reward is determined, the Supreme Court can order that under the whistleblower law. I think I would give you the provision in the whistleblower law. So there's remedy. Also for if individual providing disclosure, we know that the Whistleblower Act provides for reward. And that is one thing we have to talk about more. If you participated, for instance, in a process of processing payment of up to $100,000, either as a controller or you participated in the fraudulent procurement or procuring millions of dollars worth of items, and obviously you feel indifferent, you feel bad about participating in such act, there are ways you can disclose such information. You can be rewarded the 5%, and you can have legal immunities. And these are the conversations we want to be having with frontline managers. We're trying to establish the first set of workshops for up to 600 of these people: controller, procurement director, internal auditors, HR directors who we get payroll piling all around Liberia. It can't happen with all HR people. So the HR people, we're trying to put some packages together for that training to let them know, even if you were constrained to participate in such heinous act, we, as a government, we have that authority to provide legal immunity for you and prosecute your bosses who are held liable because they made a decision. They approve such decision.
What do you do?
And you get rewarded for that. Up to 5% or whatever amount that the government lost in such corruption.
What do you do to cover up a whistleblower? And I'm speaking in context. Let's assume a matter is before a judge. Mm-hmm. The matter is in court. The general understanding is that you can provide the evidence, will protect you, but in the event where I have to be visibly seen testifying in the court,
so that in that instance you're no longer a whistleblower, because the whistleblower provides disclosure and want to be unknown. He or she has no intention whatsoever to provide testimony. Once you make a decision to testify, and that's the difference between a whistleblower and a witness. A witness is a person who is willing to testify or has testified or will at some point in time testify. So when you make disclosure and subsequently you want to testify, you become a witness. But that witness does not want his or her identity to be known to minimize threat.
And that was the point of my question.
Good. The law provides, and under our law, there are several cases that the Supreme Court made determination on as well, where the person can provide testimony in camera Especially, there are a couple of cases, but two of the cases are rape cases. Of course, when you are a journalist reporting on a rape victim, you don't go calling the person name, say Sarah Brown or John. You always see all the cases you have to, give, get X, but X. And the essence is you don't want to expose the identity of that witness. So yes, under our law, it's allowed. It's acceptable for people to provide testimony in camera. Some of the things we want to do, and we are trying to work with the office of the president and then our boss, the Minister of Justice. He has the rule of law sector. So anything we do in this sector, he has to sanction it. We're trying to see how we push for additional support so that some of the courts, especially the criminal courts, the level of vulnerability in the court is at a very high rate. In the criminal court, vulnerability in terms of security. Mm-hmm. Anybody can walk to that court. You don't have any machine for people to be processed through. You don't have the metal detector to check people. That's a criminal court, brother. Many things can happen. We've not experienced some of these things in Liberia, but there's nothing to say it cannot happen. The criminal code E with rape cases, we want to increase the security, the physical security of the facility to guarantee the protection of witnesses. But you and I know it's cost intensive and it's a priority of the government. So obviously we believe they will put money into it.
Where's the agency located?
Our office is opposite the Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
We are fortunate to be housed in the old European Union office. If you ever visited where EU used to be, there where we are situated now. And the minister, on his request, made a request that we also house the parole board. Of course, the president appointed a parole board for individuals who have shown good behavior while serving sentence. So we have some professionals who will eventually join us.
What's the process of getting in touch with your institution? Something happened. I want to testify. I want to give the information. Do I just walk into the office? Are there people that I will talk to? What's the process?
So as it is now, we are working along with the LSCC. LSCC has hotlines for corruption issues. The Ministry of Justice and the Liberian National Police also, they too have hotlines. We are now working in isolation with a back office. However, we've requested, and in a week or two, we should provide to the public our own hotline for our service. We have a team of professionals working on our website and all other social media. For now, we have the Facebook up, but there are other social media handlers we're trying to get up. So we are new. We're trying to utilize the available opportunities already. So if it's a corruption matter, once you share that with LSCC, we work closely with LSCC. It's a legal requirement that we collaborate with LSCC. Once you share that with the LMP or the Ministry of Justice, of course, they will convey that to us as well. But we have requested our individual hotline, which once we receive the approval, we'll share with the public in record time.
It seems you've got a lot to do as far as public awareness is concerned.
Obviously, these two instruments are new. The institution is new, so we have to do a lot more in terms of public awareness. But what we want to do as a start to kickstart the work we are doing is first to look at what areas of the law over time has been violated, and by the enforcement of that provision, it automatically generates the kind of public awareness. We've already identified that. We believe all the employers in the Republic of Liberia either deliberately decided not to respect the whistleblower law that required them to publish the whistleblower law at their premises, or they had no information. So if the first is the case, then we have to see where in the law there are stronger and harsher punishment for that. Administrative sanction, which will include fines, and criminal penalty, where people go to jail for not publishing the law. You think if everybody walking in OKFM come to this premises and see that you have the Whistleblower Act, protected disclosure, reward for providing whistleblower information, the penalty and everything, you don't think it create that consciousness that the country is serious about fighting corruption?
Whose responsibility is it to publish it, to get it available?
So we will make it available. We're going to make it available. So as it is now, like I said to you, because we are new, we are trying to make sure this decision is communicated at the highest level of the government. So we are making a plea through the chair of the Rule of Law Committee for the president himself. in reaffirming his commitment to fighting corruption. Oh, the corruption, people fighting corruption will not see anything. Our Santa friends were here a few days ago. They say, yeah, there's small progress, in the fight against corruption, but it's a mad progress. Yeah, we agree. Small progress is progress, but for us to make bigger progress, we need more visibility about messages such as the one we are talking about. So a message coming from the president on this thing requiring remanding employers. And when we say employers, we're not talking about employer in public sector alone. All employers in the Republic of Liberia, they have legal obligation to publish the whistleblower. I didn't get it. It's going to be our responsibility in collaboration with LACC and Ministry of Justice to make it available. On our website, we have it there. We will have jingles on the radio to show you how you can download the law from our website. The law is on the LACC website. We make sure Ministry of Justice will put on their website. So there will be absolutely no excuse for the enforcement of this. But that, you already helping me to do my job. Because when you publish a whistleblower out in your institution, your staff will start asking you, what is this? And you start to explain my job. The government passed the whistleblower law. You can provide information, anything wrong with doing here. And then in the event that the government lost taxes or lost whatever the government generates from your information, you get 5%. And you do my work.
What does the law say, Maxwell, about witness or whistleblower outside of the country?
So generally, the law will not speak to an individual to wherever place. So if you're out of the country but you witness something, because to be a witness, and for us to recruit you on the program, because the witness protection thing is a program, there are criteria. First, the testimony you have, is it relevant to determining the outcome of the case? Is it material? So under what condition will a witness be outside the country? So let's put it in context. Let's say, for instance, we have had cases in the past where people have first-hand information on these cases, but as a consequence of the act, they became traumatized, and out of fear for they left the country. Okay. If that is the kind of condition you're talking about, and that person wants support from our agency while they're out of the country to support the criminal prosecution, yes, that's what they established us for. They don't have to physically come to be able to help the case. But in the event we need them to come for whatever reason, the government is going to commit to the security of that person.
Okay. Now, another thing is I'm concerned, stay on the whistleblower thing, Maxwell. If an HR personnel, a procurement director, for example, you contributed to the decision, wrongful decision, you contributed.
Yeah.
But afterward, you come and become a whistleblower. Do you still benefit the 5%?
So that is a very gray area. If you read the law, there are two things. You can be a whistleblower and a witness if you choose to be. You can be. But then the law is funny. The law says for your disclosure to be protected, it must not be made in committing a crime. You understand that point?
Mm-hmm.
So for your
come back there again.
For your disclosure to be considered protected, that means as a consequence of that disclosure, there cannot be retaliatory action
against you.
So you cannot provide a disclosure to us while committing a crime. However, if the information you provide to us is material, and as a consequence of that information, we can prosecute your bosses and recover the loss to government. The law allows for the government to give you legal immunity. That what the lawyer said, they not prosecute a case against you. They waive charges against you, even though you participated in the act, so that you now become a state witness.
State witness. So my question is, will you still benefit the 5%?
The law is not clear on that. I cannot say affirmatively whether or not you can pay it, because the law says you should not disclose while committing a crime. So I cannot.
You should not disclose while committing a crime.
Yes. That then it cannot be considered a protected disclosure. But what we can do as a government is to grant you legal immunity, because we should prosecute you like we prosecute all other people.
Exactly.
Because you're committing a crime.
But the fact that you report it.
So, because of the relevance of your testimony and the materiality of that testimony to the outcome of the case, we will waive charges against you. I don't think, and I'm not a court. It's subject for interpretation. But in my mind, such persons should not be impacted. But if they make claim and we say no, they can challenge us at the Supreme Court.
Maxwell Grisby is the head of Liberia's Witness Protection Agency. I think I stand to be corrected. This could be his first public appearance explaining about the institution and what are some of the things they will be doing, what they will do to curb corruption. They're talking about drug trafficking, money laundering, organized crimes in Liberia, what they will do to protect their witnesses and all those kinds of things. He's talking about the law and everything. Now, let's take some time to hear you sooner so you engage Maxwell a lot, and then we come back to him too, because we still have a lot of time. So what are the questions you have? He talked about the structure. They've done competitive recruitment process. He was not just appointed by the president. It was as a result of a vigorous recruitment process. And he says they have to work with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the Ministry of Justice, and other agencies. They mean well for witness protection. And you heard him explain everything. Let's hear you. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, the Clarence Jackson. Let me say good morning to people around Tiklo, Mazel, Crispy. And my name is Robert Political Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I called you this morning from the Congress State in Kingston. I know I'm not surprised about the brilliant explanation of people around Mazel, Crispy. I trust in intelligence. I trust the ability to serve and uplift that hero. But my question is people around Crispy. First of all, let me say congratulations for the payment.
Thank you.
When people who are supposed to provide information as a relation racial bureau when see something from others, how can they be protected under the law? But he said people are scared to give information because they cannot be protected. How the security and how can they be protected? Thank you very much, people.
Were you following the show anyway? Hello?
Yeah, Clarence, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the guest in studio there.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, unfortunately, call my name. I'm so happy that he on the radio and give me the information from us. We are in Miami to get people like that to fight corruption, and I got a good case. But the only reason I will not call my name and I want his number. I can give him my number. I can call my number. You can give him my number so we can work together. They are about to pay. Government are about to pay huge amount to a group of people, and the process was fraudulent. And I want to help me. That government should stop because the money is not small money, and government already pay the money to the people. So I can call my number to you, give him my number, or I will find him to the office so we can sit down, we talk, and I get everything. I got article to show to him that he will be able to fight that government will not be able to pay that money. Thank you so much. My number is you.
Don't call your number.
You don't have to call your number. You say you already want to disclose it. By the time you call your number, I can remain real on my phone and call your name. It's
Don't
okay.
call your number.
Maybe you can listen to the show. I'm sure probably he will call a number at the institution that you can call.
Or you can come opposite the Ministry of Justice.
No problem.
Or you go opposite the Ministry of Justice and just ask for Mamba Point, ask for the Witness Protection Agency. You call your name in 5 seconds. I mean, you call your number 5 seconds. I know your name. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Ishmael Flomo. I join you from Pinsville.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say hats up to your studio guests. I think this commission is coming at the right time when you have the War Economic Crimes Code coming up in a few months. I would love for the Boston studio to really expand on the role because there'll be so many issues of witness protection required because you're talking about very serious corruption and war crime issues. So I look forward to him explaining how you're going to tackle that.
Okay, thank you, Ishmael. It seems you're exercising. Understandable. Yeah, it seems you're exercising. Thank you. Let's get you. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Andrew Weah, and I join you from Barnos here this morning.
All right, Weah.
Yeah, Clarence, it is good that the Whistleblower Act has been passed and that we have a commission now. We can be able to establish and feed them with information. Look, Liberians, do not be deterred, do not have any fear within you. If you have a clear information, we'll not say go make a false story on somebody because you don't like the person. If you see that tangible evidence, go to the whistleblower, go to the commission and reveal this information because that's the only way we'll fight corruption because this issue of corruption is affecting our people. The whole country is being affected from this act of corruption. Few set of people, but majority of the people language in poverty. And the only way we can rise from it is all of us to be committed and those that are in authority to but we give this information to you to not protect your personal interests. Because if you do that, then it will be harming the process. So thank you very much, Clarence.
Thank you, Andrew. Except that it is not a commission, it is an agency yet. Hello?
Good morning, Karen, and good morning to the Liberian people.
Good morning, good morning.
This is Franco Harris calling on District number 2, Montserrat County.
Okay.
Karen, you see, in leadership, when you target their responsibility, they appointing additional thing to go after people who committing crime across the nation. It will only appear to people because the government, the current government, not in the interest of the people that bluff, Clarence. The people say who's sitting up there, they're not sincere to the people that elected them. So how will somebody, let's take for example, the ask Franco Harris now. Even I see somebody slaughtering somebody, you think the government want to protect the people sitting up there, they even kill you, they got someone say go set different commission kind of investigation, they will not achieve, carry on record. They feel it.
I don't get your point. Are you saying if you even saw somebody doing the worst thing, you will not say anything because you assume the government will not do anything? Is that your point? Okay. Chief, thank you. Hello?
Good morning, people, Clarence, and good morning to your studio guests.
Good morning.
My name is Moses Charles Kekula. I'm calling you from Broadway resident this morning.
Okay.
I want to appreciate your guests and on the fight against corruption. I think this is an urgent issue and we need to address it with urgency. But I want us to do this like we make it like more sexy. What am I trying to say? The 5%, I think it's small. Since it's an urgency and this is killing our country, we need to increase at least 10 or 15%. You will see that the fight against corruption will increase and more people will want to engage in it.
Do you know what even at 5%, people are turning out to testify, to blow whistle? Because to make a determination of increment, the people have to see that they are winning a lot of cases. People reporting, complaining, they are winning a lot. Government is gaining a lot. Then they will say probably the wave of cases we are winning and big monies and all these things, I think we need to go follow to encourage. Oh, you're gone. Okay. Well, good morning.
Good morning, Clarence.
Yeah?
Let me say a pleasant good morning to the listener following your broadcast.
Yeah.
Clarence, let me say good morning to Master Kimia.
Come again?
Let me say good morning to Veterans Maxwell.
I'm not the man is Maxwell Grisby. The man not Kimia.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, because you confused me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Christian and I'm Christian. Pray for enemy barrier. I joined the conversation this morning from the headquarters of the Veterans B Road.
Okay.
On the Baguba Avenue, open to open. Clarence, I appreciate your guest. And Clarence, I knew him from small, and then the kind of work he do, I want to commend him because most especially in Sano, where my fiancée hails from, she always gave me a lot of praises to him on a level of encouragement, a level of innovativeness.
My man, we're talking about wisdom protection, man. All right, thank you. Thank you for all it. Thanks to the man. We're not here looking at bloody man. We're talking serious thing. Did that sound thing? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Jackson, and hello to Honorable Master Question.
How you doing?
Well, myself, I'm not let to call my name, but I'm from the educational background.
Okay.
But I see corruption in a system that I know about. But sometimes you take the issue, nothing can come from inside. Like the donor are sending their money to train to have workshop for teachers when the DO, the EO, and all CO, when they know that money there to give it to participants, to go and collect people who are not even part of the system and bring them in so they all can collect that money. Like what the other caller said that when I get up, you say be the guest will call his number, and somehow we are far off from most of our country that will not be able to go to the office.
Yeah.
And we like to blow without any time when some clinic camp where it will be done for teachers only. So that we can be able to call their office to send people, and we are going to lead them to go and check on what are those people that are not part of the system, they're part, so that they can check on them for all.
Okay, keep listening to the show. I'm sure you will have to do something about either a number or, but the surest way is, I mean, wherever you are, you can take advantage. If you come to Moravia one of these days, but let me leave it with that. You will respond. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Maila SQ and I joined from Kawa this morning, my check.
Go ahead.
Clarence, there are something going on at the LTM area where the government has decided us to do our documents. Clarence, I want you to take your camera to that place. There are some good things going on there, and there's also bad things going on there. Clarence, can you imagine? I went over there to put my document 2 days before I could get it from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. Can you imagine? I left from there 8 in the evening, and then after they gave my document with a mistake on it. The agent is giving the wrong number for the place and a wrong number on the document. Going forward, even when you go out and to take the Java lesson, they will ask you to go and deposit the money in the bank. That bank you have there. You deposit the money because of the check. I told you before you go out to the lesson, you should go for the check first. And I tell you, US. Can you imagine? You are compared to the US while you stay on the parcel, they compare you. So, for that reason, you are compared to filling the check. When you're filling the check, the check that you put it come back.
Really? So what a point you're making?
My point is that people should go and do the driving test before going to pay the money for the Java lesson.
Okay, do the driving test before. Hello? Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, you're alive. Go ahead.
Yeah, Clarence, good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. I have something to your guest this morning, and I would like to appreciate the fact that the government has established such an agency. But I have a fear, right? My fear is this fraternity code, something that we all know about in Liberia. The fraternity code that says, protect the brotherhood. So if I'm not in the fraternity code or within the fraternity area or association, and have an issue, legitimate issue that I will carry to the agency, obviously it will have to go to whoever I'm complaining about. And at that point, the fraternity code place, protect the brotherhood. So I would like for the director to explain to us, will it be outside of that fraternity code this time around, or we should expect those things happening in the court? When you go in the court and you see your fraternity code member, that case remains in the court forever and ever. Amen.
Why don't you try and see? Hello?
Yeah, we don't want to try. We want them to assure the public of the situation.
Okay. Good morning. We'll take 3 more, then we'll come to the head, Maxwell Crispy. Hello?
Good morning, people.
Yeah?
Andrew calling from Badan.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, I bet that people speaking low, that when I put out discuss the issue lengthily, maybe with a more action. See, people are saying no, so all you say is listening. But the implementation aspect of it now, then you're talking everything that you require, everything you need to prepare with you, all of those things discuss it just now. But every just maybe a whistleblower now, the protection of that whistleblower will not be there.
Okay. Finally, hello.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence. I'm having Justin calling from Dubo District 4, the chairperson for the Librarian for Justice. You see, in the country, even when the people come up, when somebody give you information, it's, oh, you get all the information, we'll give you this amount of money. They just do it for publicity. So that's why you see there's some people say don't come to them with issue.
For example, do you have any experience where institution of the state?
Yes. But I'm not disclosing that on the radio for security reasons.
Because an institution of the state, an institution of the state promised you gave information you were correct, they didn't give you what it's supposed to give you?
I said I will not disclose it for security reasons. But don't do it. They don't do it for publicity. So that they can even scare you and all. So the people they are just tricky.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes it's good to say it so that we know it, to prove that you are saying the truth. Maxwell, let's hear you.
So let me thank the public. There's this normal contempt for government and these kinds of information. So it's not surprising. But the truth is, there's never been a witness protection agency before 2022. So whatever situation you may have had, of course, these are agencies of government. But the fact that we are establishing exclusive bodies as required by the convention against corruption, it tells you that the government is making progress in the fight against corruption. Before, we had the LSCC as a singular entity playing multiple roles with investigating corruption, verifying assets, at the same time providing protection for whistleblowers. Now you have an exclusive agency funded by the government budget and supported by partners. It says we are transitioning into doing more so that we repose confidence in the governance system. The truth is, yes, Section 19 of the tax law, for instance, even though it does not say whistleblower, it talks about informers. And the law provides under the Liberia Revenue Code that an individual who is not an employee of government who disclose information that lead to recovery of taxes, you get 10%. So we're trying to see how, as part of our thinking, to make sure our laws are consistent. Do we want to move up to that 10% generally for all whistleblower information? Wish we encourage more people to provide testimony. It's a conversation we intend to introduce as well. Some of the services of the institution, so that at least we don't leave without you knowing. The first one is physical and identity protection. I talked about it earlier. That is, if a witness is supposed to go to court to testify, of course you want to make sure there are protective materials in the court so that that witness does not get hit physically or does not get injured while in court. The identity protection, in the event that as a consequence of the case, the witness, the threat level is very high, the witness want to maybe testify through video link, that witness does not have to be physically present. The court can also make the state can also make submission for such testimony to be done in video. So that's doing trial. Psychosocial counseling, of course. Most of these gender-based violent cases, the Ministry of Gender and the task force has done so well in providing psychosocial support. What we want to do, the law requires that we should set the minimum standard. So even though we are the witness protection agency, but there are some cases in which the Ministry of Gender and the task force may still be providing protection service for their victims. But the minimum requirement of protection, we must ensure the guideline is done. So now we've reached out to the High Commission on Human Rights for support to see how, we can, in a mutual partnership, develop a baseline that will eventually lead to developing the National Action Plan, the 5-year strategic plan, and the guidelines for the different safe houses. We call it safe houses. Where there needs to be relocation, of course, you have to go in a safe housing facility. We do have the legal immunity service that I talk about, where an individual may have participated in the crime, but that individual, regaining his consciousness and knowing that wrong is something that should not go, or accountability, can make provision of such disclosure. The state, in its wisdom, can nullify prosecute such case, grant legal immunity to allow that person testify and prosecute the leader under the doctrine or respondent superior. Also, where, as a consequence of certain information you provide to the state, your identity became exposed, and you want to exit the country or do other things under a new identity, the law provides for us to make application so that your identity gets changed.
Really?
Of course. So these are some of the legal immunities that are available under the program. So if you're Clarence Jackson, you did something, sometimes people know the name, but they can't match the name in the face. If you went to the National Identification Registry now to change your name, they say go to the court, publish it in paper. But under the Witness Protection Program, we can refer special dispensation based on your testimony to change your name from Clarence Jackson to Peter Paul and make sure you get national identity in the name Peter Paul. The only thing, in the future, if you were to do anything relating to the government and they were to ask you, were you not Clarence Jackson, you cannot say, no, I'm not Clarence Jackson to the government. Then that would be perjury, you would be committing a crime. But we can provide you, these are some of the legal immunities. So when we talk about protection and not just getting security around you, there are many other things we can do, to conceal your identity and support you. Safe housing, of course, relocation, temporary and permanent reintegration. These are the services of the agency. Are we providing them now? we are in the process of sourcing some of these services, and those who have trusted us, they know that we are serious about what we are doing. I remember some years back when we started having conversation about launching the civilian arm registration so that we minimize the proliferation of arms. People, there was a lot. That's always difficult to start. It's about the commitment, it's about the consistency, and that is why we are, communicating with the chairman of the Rule of Law Caucus to make sure that the president is the most popular citizen of this country.
And that's why I'm coming back to a political will.
And that's what we're coming to.
Political will is needed. In all the things you talked about, you talk about a lot of good things.
But the political will
you need the funding. You need political will for, whistleblowers and witnesses, relocation plan, all these kinds of things. Do you think we, as a country, as an institution, what is it about political will? What do you think?
This is one of the institutions that benefit bipartisan support. So when I hear somebody saying, the government won't lie to us, I wonder. And the reason why I accepted this job is because insofar the way we see the politics seem to be between two major players until a third player can show strength, two major players in the country. One of the reasons I accepted this job is because, one, this entity was established under the tenure of the old government and is being implemented by the new government, which says majority of the people should support it because it's for a good cause. So the men who say, the government won't fool people, if you were part of any government before this one, it is that government that established the agency. What this government has done is, it was a good decision made to establish the agency, but it was not operationalized, which made the law practically incapable of self-execution. Laws are not self-executing. So this government has said, that was a good decision to establish the agency. Our role is we will operationalize it, we will fund it, and it will not be business as usual. We will make sure all provisions of the law are implemented. That I am sitting in this studio as the director, first inaugural director of the agency, tells you that there is political will. Additional political will be in the pronouncements that we are pushing for from the office of the president, which will generate the public attention that is required for the program.
Okay,
so we're not going to stop.
Let's take a second round of calls. 0777-700-995. We have Maxwell Grispe. He's the head of the Witness Protection Agency of Liberia. He's here. You can call us on our WhatsApp number 0555-026-995. Good morning.
Good morning, Piso.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Jean Tonia Gonde, commonly known as Rescue Zero.
All right, Tonia, let's hear you.
Let me say good morning to Big Brother Anthony Maxwell Grisby, a decent young man who have a lot of respect among the young people who I respect so much. Thank you for the job there. I want to say thank you to the governor of Liberia, President Joseph Yuma for operationalizing the Witness Protection Agency. For corruption, you need to be holistic. We need to follow it from all angles, and I see this as a broad spectrum of why we use to fight corruption in the country. And we, the young people of this country, we're going to work with Councilor Grisby and make sure and see this impossible and have people prosecuted, not on the basis of malice, but on the basis of wrong that they did. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's hear you. Hello.
Hello, my studio guest. Sorry, this is James Momo from Vitam. Thank you very much to our studio guys. To fight against corruption in Liberia, we should bring in a system. There should be a system where, as the man in the studio just said, it should not be only for the private people, it should be for government also. Like the Senegalese, they are only fighting corruption. Even bringing smuggling goods will be arrested. And that officer, if at all you are exposed, you'll be in jail for 5 years.
That's it.
But so long you catch that goods and expose it to the people, to the government, that this is what I've caught, you are not corrupt. You put on your rank. You be a ranking officer again in the army or in the police. So this is how to do their thing. That is very good. So Liberians, we are corrupt all over corruption. Yes. Starting from the home. Character begins at home, and then when we start the corruption.
Okay, sir. Let's hear you. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Falabi Kamara Go and Damambuka Association.
Omen Fala Kamara, the whistleblower, the Dama whistleblower. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. I wanted to ask the councillor where the implementation of the act. They said
the correction should be the fair correction with all costs.
Yeah.
But the Supreme Court rule where the implementations.
Okay. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Bapolo Diamond case. He say the Supreme Court has ruled. Why is the government not implementing? Hello?
Good morning, Clarence Jackson.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Andrew City, and I'm from in this morning from Sino County.
Okay, Andrew.
Let me say good morning to Honorable Maswell Grisby.
Good morning.
Who is in studio this morning. So my attention has been drew to this identical agency, which is the Witness Protection Agency. So I want to understand from your studio guests, is there any policy governing citizens who will serve as witness in a case in protecting their rights and responsibility?
Okay. If you were listening, you would have understood exactly some of the issues. 0777700099 and 505550269 and 5. Hello?
Good morning, Jackson Clarence Jackson. Let me say good morning to Big Brother.
Cut your radio off. Hello? Good morning, yeah.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, this is Attorney Pendaras Allison, and I've called to make a contribution to the show.
Pendaras, let's hear you.
I want to thank the director in there for his perfect and well-detailed information given.
Listen, you won't cut your radio off. Just cut your radio off.
Oh, okay, let me do that immediately.
Yeah.
Tehran's determination to continue the fight.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, it's off now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. So, Dr. Grisby.
Yes, sir.
The thing is that you can see that the whole institution came from the anchor of persecution, right?
Of course.
So this is where when a person is being persecuted and then witnesses are needed for those assertions or allegations made against the person, that those witnesses can get protected. The concern here is what happens if the witness in question is the anger of the defendant.
Okay.
So, for example, this government most likely stands out probably by not fitting some of these hypothetical conditions. But let us assume Africa being what it is, there is a government in the near future or whatever that is going after a person, and then in the process of litigation, the witness produced by the defendant is witnessing kind of testifying against the government.
Okay,
and
I think that's a key point.
Huh?
I said that's a key point. Go ahead.
Yeah, and giving the full weight of the government, and knowing also that you are being paid by the government. To what extent do you maintain and balance yourself in such a way that that witness is protected and that you yourself are protected because by doing your job is actually being done against the government, and the government being your lifeline, and the rest of it you can tune it out. Clarence understand more. And he can
Very well. I think what Padala is trying to say in common is, when does the agency protect a witness? Do you also protect defendant witnesses that are testifying against the state? I think that is his issue. Just mark it down. Hello?
Morning, God.
Yeah?
My name is Daniel Ferry, and I call you from district number 10. Thanks to your studio guest for his tremendous work at that institution. And I want to ask this question about the decentralization of this process. Whether this process is going to be decentralized or it's just going to be situated at that point, because there are common people who have testimony all around, but scared or sometimes don't have, like transportation, to go as far as how they call the place, Congo Town, where the institution is located. So I just want to know whether they're going to work on decentralizing this process. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go. Hello? Hello, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Legend Clarence Jackson.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to Councilor Grisby.
I think he's your counselor now?
Attorney.
He's an attorney at law. Let's be careful. These lawyers can be careful. Go ahead.
Okay, this is activist Martin Renner, and I do join you this morning from Luja, Liberia, in the Canterbury headquarters in West Point. Before I go to the issue, Legend Jackson, let me invite you this week to the Mountain headquarters where you can have lunch with us there. Please accept our open invitation this week. Please, we are begging you.
Okay,
however, there's one thing that I want to say only before I ask my critical question. I remember when the councilor were a small arm commissioner, that place was very dead. And then he revamped that place, made that place lucrative. As soon as money started to come in that place, it increased to I think 1 million plus. They put that in. I hope is that how
they didn't put it out. I'm sure his turn to go over.
Okay, well, is turning go over now, but the credit will be given to him. That will give this man his flower a lot. Having said that, here's my question here. Councilor Grisby.
Yes, sir.
Then look at somebody who is a whistleblower, and then the case is against the government. How can you convince, or I know you said that, but how can you convince the public that if the case against the government, and then you have the whistleblower, how will you protect that whistleblower against the government?
Okay, the message is gone. Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, old chief.
I'm Joseph Freeborn from Central Town.
Okay.
Our Gracefield, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Let me appreciate you so much for this particular whistleblower, protection. Because, our country have been corrupt for so many years. And people just indicted, no prosecution, no sentence, nothing. We just cause noise all day. We the other person have been indicted, the other person have been indicted. So I pray that the particular era should help to fight corruption in this country because it's a serious problem. Because of corruption today, we don't have better hospital inside, Because of corruption today, we don't have better school in the country. Because of corruption today, it's a serious problem in our country.
Okay.
And when corruption is fight, I believe, I'm convicted that the country will move forward. My question before I drop the line, if you talk about protection, if somebody within your cycle, because the country on regression is politically charged, somebody will be under your hand giving information because if the whistleblower act is better, the agency is okay, the glory will come on the other side. So somebody will be honor, want to do something, right in your compound there, they want to do something to bring the person in to probably ridicule, to deal with that person. If person will beat them, they disgrace them in the street.
What's your question?
If that person is caught within your domain, or what the really guarantee that you're going to protect the whistleblower that coming to your agency, real protection that coming to your agency, because we are mixed up. That place down the politics era.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Clarence?
Yeah?
For security reason again, I will not call my name. Clarence, I'm willing to go and testify for a while. Yes, I called previously, and I called it again. I'm not afraid if government protects me, no problem. If government does not protect me, no problem. If I can be laid on the cross
that Jesus, huh? All right, but just visit their offices. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say thanks to your studio guest, but I don't want to call my name. I have an issue with the government ministry, and since 2014, we have been going up and down. We can't get nothing out. So can his agency help us?
Does it? What is it bothered on?
It's bothered on the same old receiving money and refuse to do what they received the money for. Over $17 billion Liberian dollars.
Okay, so you heard him. You can take advantage. Go to their office.
Okay.
Yeah, 0777700995. A lot of people are speaking on condition of anonymity. They say they got information. They won't disclose that name. So probably we might see that office flooded with people. 0777700. Let's test it. Let's test A and C. Hello? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah?
Good morning.
Not bad.
Clarence, this is Arthur from your own people from Banga.
Yeah, Arthur, let's hear you.
Clarence, I got a little issue with the women ministry. I got my kids there, but I just been going up and down, up and down.
No, but the was maybe that one a personal thing you want to tell me. You can come let's tell her. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, because Dodger said it me begin from Bang. Yeah, go ahead.
Edward Shannon, I call from Central Virginia Bank Settlement.
All right.
My question to the guests is first, let me commend you guys in the media landscape for the level of sacrifice people are making in this country. My question to the studio guests is that for me, I want to know when will you people start? Because for me, it will not be a whistleblower issue. I'm going to bring you right to the main place here, show you the place you're picking up and getting. I want Padala. Right here, he there now. The most famous K1 in this country that everybody knows. I will bring you your go right there, you're picking up. I want Padala. Thank you.
Wow. All right, hello?
Hello.
Yeah?
Good morning, Clarence Piso Jackson.
Good morning.
Good morning to your studio guest, Honorable Crispy.
Yes, sir.
This is Ransford 6000 and I joined from the borough of Kutown.
All right, Ransford.
So let me begin by appreciating your studio guest for his tremendous work previously for ascending at such a position that requires the targeted issues. The issues about clearing those individuals, I think in my mind, once they are not being found guilty, to clear them. But this is my question. I want to know, is it because you are targeting certain individuals, like for example?
But who you want to speak to now? They mean from LACC. Because the way you're going, I think that LACC team trying to tell you. Master, yeah, let's hear you on the second batch of questions.
Okay, so I will start first by giving you a very key information from Section 6 of the law. Then I will close on the concerns raised. So who may make protected disclosure? If you read the tax law under Section 19, it says a person who is not an employee of the government shall give information and receive benefits. So it means, for the tax law, if you're an employee of the government and you blow whistle, you can't get benefit under the tax law. You can't get that 10%. And the difference with that law, which I think should be amended, because there are employees in the LRA and finance who may want to give information, who deserve the benefit, and who are more knowledgeable about what's happening there, they should benefit. So it's one of the proposals we will be making to the president office as well, that provision need to be reviewed, so that employees their benefit. But also, let's see what the whistleblower law say. Who are the people who can make disclosure? So an employee can blow whistle in respect of his employer. So you can report your own employer. And when we investigate your complaint and then there's any proceed of government benefit, you get 5%. An employee in respect of another employee. So you're an employee in an institution, you see something wrong happening, you can report the other employee. By a person in respect of another person or an institution. So it could be public institution or private institution. When there's a wrong, you can report it. So there's no exception under the whistleblower law to say, oh, the man working with government, so he can testify against government and he will not get a benefit. No. So I just wanted to clear that. The question raised by Mr. Allison is a human rights commissioner. And when I talk about the witness protection program, of course, the genealogy of this law was to support the criminal justice system insofar that the state was finding it difficult to have people testify in major cases that the state could not bring to finality. So that was the thinking. What can we do to encourage people to support prosecution? The Witness Protection Program, as envisaged under Article 33 of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, is not to protect witnesses in prosecution, as was anticipated in the genealogy of drafting this law. You read Article 33 as a human rights-based approach. It's an approach intended to protect witnesses and whistleblowers within the criminal justice system, regardless of which side the individual will be testifying. Because even our law support that argument. Our Liberian law is clear that the essence of prosecution is not to convict, but to ensure justice. So ensuring justice does not necessarily mean convicting. That is why we run our legal system on what we call the presumption of innocence, not the presumption of guilt. We argue in Liberia on our law that any person accused, a criminal defendant accused of an act,
is presumed
innocent. We
innocent.
must, under our law, presume that that person is innocent until we, beyond reasonable doubt, can prove him guilty. So, sitting at this commission, at this agency, you realize, Clarence, that one of the reasons why there's tenure, the position holds tenure. And the reason why we are giving tenure security is because we are supposed to exercise some bit of independence in the discharge of our duty. So we have a 3 years tenure. It's renewable. There's no time limit to it. So while you are there within that 3 years, you have that ability to make decisions that generally benefit the country. So if we have a defendant in a major case or a witness, who has relevant and material testimony that will exonerate the defendant, Pindara's question is,
will you protect the president?
Of course, I am under obligation by law to protect the defendant witness, and not just to protect him alone. Where I divulge the information, the testimony for that defendant witness to the state, and it jeopardizes his safety, I commit a felony of the first degree under the law.
If you didn't support him,
if I decide to protect him, and because I'm taking pay from the government, I divulge information given by him to me, to the state, to jeopardize his safety, I commit a crime. But I can understand that there will be confusion. People will say, but we don't think we can get that protection. So our role as an agency, we're not going to just restrict it to us. Some of the things we'll be doing in the next few months will be to expose the criminal defendant to other platforms that provide support. For instance, the platform for the protection of whistleblowers. They are one of the groups that we've been engaged with since we started. They have been protecting witnesses against major dictators across Africa and other parts of the world. The platform is available. So when a defendant comes to us who is not very confident of our ability to exercise prudence and discretion to protect him, he still needs to get benefit. We can as well link him with the platform for the protection of whistleblower, which is international, which provides support. The EU, the Public Defender Program, they have a whole platform protecting human rights defender, victims, witness, and whistleblower.
So in other words, you're not protecting prosecution witnesses alone.
That is, even though the way the law is tailored, it seems that way, but the program is not intended for that. Okay. But where the defendant does not have confidence in what we do, we are not going to say, go to hell. No. Why I sit at this agency, we are going to link you with a platform for the protection of whistleblowers. We are going to link you with other international platforms that have readily available money to protect you.
Okay.
So there's not just a Liberia thing.
It's a whole batch of everything. Maxwell will keep coming. I was also thinking about best practice and coordination with people, institutions outside the country. Have you started making friends, creating links?
The engagements are on already. I've been making several presentations at some international conveyance of people. I started holding meetings already. I'm telling you about international groups that we are engaging with. Hopefully, within the period of 12 months, you will see some of the great things we have in store. And the reason why we are slow to come into the public to talk is because we want more to be done. Now we're coming to talk because we're trying to close up on the recruitment of staff who will help us. This should be the role of our public affairs people. I'm hoping we can get them, to start work as early as possible so that I engage more on the bigger front. I want to be between the Ministry of Justice and the Executive Mansion to see how we continue to knock the door off the president so that he speaks to the country on this matter Employers in Liberia have obligation to publish the whistleblower law. It's 4 years now since the law was passed. We're not just a government institution alone. We're an advocacy group within the government, wanting the right thing to be done. So people should not expect that we'll just be that government, pro-government. No. We support the agenda of the government to do the right thing. That's what we established. So where a criminal defendant needs our help, he has a testimony, and the government won't win the case so bad. You don't go to court to win case. You go to court to ensure that justice prevails. And where you believe that the prosecution is frivolous, it's unmeritorious, you don't proceed with such prosecution. That's what our justice minister should be. The reason why we have so much calm in this country. You see the kind of justice minister you have, and people come to the radio sometimes, they just talk with two sides of the mouth. You have a justice minister who has lived the legal profession. He thinks cautiously, conscientiously before making decisions. When he makes a mistake, he does not come to defend. He owns up to it. That's what we have in the kind of calm, and that's what we need for this country. And we are learning from him.
Maxwell, I'd like to say thank you so much. How do you part ways with us?
I just want to say thank you. OKFM, I like what you're doing. We are hoping that in the next couple of weeks, we can start a partnership with you and many other radio stations to talk about these activities, utilizing the jingles, utilizing your announcement time. Our fight is not just to prevent corruption. We want to start a fight against the perception of corruption. And you defeat perception by visible and not abstract but tangible, interventions. When somebody walking OKFM here in the next 3 months and they see to your door, whistleblower, they will ask, what really happening in Liberia?
Yeah.
But okay, your government now, imagine at every agency you go, you see protected disclosure, person who will make protected disclosure, authorized authority, reward for disclosure. Think about it. Every agency in this country where people are working, it is that culture we are bringing back. And eventually, we don't expect the confidence to be built in one day, but eventually we'll get there. Let me say thanks to the LCC. I think they're doing a good job. Sometimes you get beaten for doing good things, but continue to do the job you're doing. I want to say thanks to the Minister of Justice for the support he's given us so far. His Excellency, we cannot thank you enough for granting us this privilege to run this very big platform that cut across major sectors of the criminal justice system. We recommit to doing our best. I think we will do far more here than we did at Arms Commission because this is touching on almost all of the subject, whether it's tax administration, money laundering, criminal, terrorist financing, drugs trade. It's a cross-cutting subject trying to look into the gut of all these programs and help minimize corruption. So we want to say thank you. Budget transparency as well.
Maxwell Grisby is an attorney at law. He's here. The head of Liberia's Witness Protection Agency. He says, the way I see it from where I sit, from the discussions I have had and I will be having, I'll do far better than when I was at the Arms Commission, a commitment to state. My name is Piso. Tomorrow we'll be back here. Wednesday's decoration day. Decorate the graves of your friends, relatives, and loved ones. Tomorrow we'll be back here with the Thursday, March 10th edition of the OK Morning Rush. Until that time.